Happy Sunday, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Paladins Open Bracket Qualifiers. My name is Rain Day, and I'm joined by High Res Pretty Hair today. Of course, partner in crime, Slick Nick the Ruler, actually. I hear they're calling you now.
It's been a minute.
It's been a minute since they started calling you that, but I guess they did now. It's time for North America, Nick. We took a look at EU yesterday. Some great performances there. D69, congratulations to them, the entire team. Great effort to win that one. And now it's time to take a look at NA and what they've got to offer.
It's crazy, you know, Burrito finally starting to show some slip-ups there, but over in North America, you know, turmoil is still the name of the game here. Xenasi last week took first place, so they're sitting at 100 points. Astro Authority in second, AGG in third. Spook, notably, Eager not on this because they got round of 16'd by Team Xenasi last week.
Wow, yeah, that's absolutely true. And it is important to note that this is a new week, so will they be in the brackets? It looks like they are. They're going to be in the semifinals now, so whatever that was, they were able to figure it out. And look at this, Nick. They played against Xenasi, who were last week's winners, now going against Eager.
So they're trading out.
And they're trading out right here. This is very important. Xenasi not even in the semifinals here, so that's going to do a bit of damage to their point score. Eager now against Divine and Astral Authority versus AGG, but you know, I'm scratching my head, Nick. Where's match point? I don't see it.
They are no more.
They are no more. Let's fill people in on what took place with match point here.
So the core of last season's roster, the roster that you guys are probably familiar with, was Kazakuni, was Mordoom, and was Dosips. And that was all that was left after Smidgen
and Stolzy,
you know, parted ways with the team, and Stolzy left for Eager. And those three guys, Wardoom, Cuscutie, and Dosips, have gone to Astro Authorities to play with Vex 30 and I Drop Bodies.
It's going to be really exciting to see that new team form. Again, they're taking the core of their team from Matchpoint, who is very successful. So we'll see if that success translates with a couple of new people. We've seen Xenasi have that success last week. We've seen a lot of teams feel really good, especially looking at yesterday Interlopers as well, just taking some new players and do what they need to do. Of course, if you want to do the best that you can in the realm and you want to do it the fastest you can, you might want to grab yourself a booster. That's right. Pick one of these bad boys up, Nick, and what are they going to get?
They're going to get extra champion XP, mastery XP, and gold. Gold being the big one, I think, here, because with the Season 1 patch, Radiant Chest will be purchasable with gold, so that's going to be very important to have a big old stockpile once that rolls around.
All right, so without further ado, let's get into the maps for today. It's time to start the action here on Paladins game. We're excited to hang out with you all. Frozen Garden and Timber Mill will be the maps banned away, and that leaves game one on our favorite, Jaguar Forza.
So this is Astro Story. This is when we get to see the core of Matchpoint perform with some other very talented guys.
Yeah.
And see how they do. And AGG, you know, if they want to take this roster down, that's a scary roster, you know, albeit, but this is the time to take them out when they're brand new, when they're fresh, when they don't have a lot of practice. You know, these guys are only going to get stronger together. First make Makoa. Same old, same old.
No surprise there. The real question is how valuable, Nick, is Torvald in these picks here? We see EU not play him at all. They don't really like him. But Maeve in combination with Torvald, Maeve the new champion after Torvald and highly contested. That combo could be pretty deadly. Looking for where they pick him up, if at all. We saw him last picked a lot of the times with Matchpoint last weekend.
And it was something that only Matchpoint really ran. So that means, you know, by transitive property, Astro Authority is going to be now comfortable running that. Do they want to run it? Do they have a strong Mave? They're picking up Fernando, so I doubt that they will run Torvald in this game at least. Makoa Fernando very strong on this, but AGG with the Drogos, that's a strong pickup to try and bust this double frontliner composition that Astro Authority are starting to construct.
And AGG also not taking a frontliner for their first 2 picks, which is kind of strange. I mean, going with Maldamba for the healing and Drogos, 2 very strong characters. Drogos, I think, is at one of the highest valued picks in the scene right now. The Salvo getting that buff, it's just whenever you put Salvo at a decent level, it just shows Drogos is just so dominant. And Bugsy showed that incredibly well yesterday. And now AGG looking to take that off the board, but they're kind of going with either Ruckus, Barrick, or Torvald here, and that's not a great frontline option.
Yeah, they do get the last pickets, though, so the Androxus and Cassie are going to be the response. Shaolin taken away by Astro Authority, so they'll probably round out with the Ying here, and then whatever other damage option they could maybe look at. If they steal the Ruckus away here, that would be pretty awkward. And they take the Pip, so this tells me they might be going for the triple frontliner to put Team AGG in a really awkward spot here, because Pip is so good with his ultimate Evil Mojo at busting up multiple frontliners, but no, it will not be that.
Wow.
So Pip Ying.
So they know, I think what they're going for here is the sustain battle, Nick. You know, it tells me Wardoom, he loves to play that Fernando flank class. He loves to get in the back line. Makoa's going to be able to hold that point, and Pip is going to be able to kind of flex on that damage and support role, with Ying kind of staying with Makoa most likely. And it is going to be hard, I think, for Ruckus and just Maldamba to really keep up with all that healing and damage.
As long as AGG don't get steamrolled, then I think they'll be okay, because a lot of times what we see happen with these types of compositions that Astro Authority is running is if they pick Dosups, that's like 90% of their team fight damage, that's and their team fight is just going to be so hard to win after losing a Dosup. So, Bubble Boys on AGG?
Bubble Boy on AGG now. One of our friendly streamers.
One of our own.
One of the guys that you guys see every day almost on the channel. We're excited to welcome him on AGG. Prince Danny TV will be on the Androxus. Bubble Boy on the Maldamba. Grapple on Cassie. Rovenick on Drogos, and El Zulu on the Ruckus.
So leaves Cuss Cutie from for Astro Thermostat match point. Astro Authority, he will be on Pip. War Dream on Fernando. I drop bodies on Makoa. Vex 30 on Ying. Dosups on Shaolin. 2 cauterizes, 1 for Wardoom, 1 for Vex Bodies. Has the Master riding there, and double wrecker, 1 cauterized for AGG.
Body's going with a very quick run to the left-hand side. Gets bursted, though. He's in trouble, and he goes down. Rovenick slaying the turtle, but he gets killed in the process, and that Dosups damage that you mentioned, Nick, it's coming very valuable right now. Ruckus trying to hide away. That emitter will tick off soon, and so if Cuss Cutie has a line of sight on El Zulu, which he does, this could be dangerous territory. 33% on the objective for Astro Authority at this moment, and they're doing well on this left-hand side, but can they keep it up? Dosups with another kill is going to put them in the driver's seat in this battle. 60% now and counting.
Wardoom just commanding so much attention out on the front line, allows Dosups to kind of squeak in there and pick up these easy kills. You know, no one is paying attention to him, and he has stealth, so he can rotate into these fights off the back of his withdrawals right now. Cassie trying to sneak around the backside and looking for a flank. Prince Danny is looking to meet up with her, and they are going to be met with Makoa, who falls again. Bodies finding himself picked off 2 times in a row.
Absolutely. Going for the aggressive Makoa play, but now Androxus is a pretty good counter to Shaolin. He could reversal that planted that does so much damage and force Shaolin out of it, and to withdraw is now being used on the offensive to put a little bit of pressure on the back line. But here's the heat haze. It's going to mean that Cuss Cutie is going to actually get El Zulu while Dosups is able to battle out and win the battle against Prince Danny TV. But Rovenick uses the Dragon Punch not on the frontliner, but on the damage carry, and that leaves Wardoom with the chance to capture. 1-0 goes the score for Astro Authority.
Vex 30 just moving this payload along, 98% on his ultimate. Heat haze already finding a use. So Ying getting some good damage. That's what that tells me. Good damage, good healing to be able to get that ultimate charged up that quickly. Evil Mojo is also ready to go. That's going to be very good against it. It's good against, you know, double frontline and single frontline for different reasons, obviously. It helps you break in there against double frontline, but against single frontliner, you know, you can just solo ultimate their single frontliner every single time, and that really throws a wrench into their team fight because it makes it so difficult. There comes the Dread Serpent to try and spread out this double frontliner. The Accursed Arm on the backside is going to pick up Dosups, and this is the situation that makes it easier for AGG to succeed. Now, Astro Authority don't have a lot of damage left in this team fight. All they have is really HP and Makoa to throw at them.
Great stuff by Vex, though, to get the kill in the air onto Prince Danny TV after the Accursed Arm. That Androxus, if he was able to fall down and then snowball off of those 2 kills, at that 1 kill, he would have been able to really apply some pressure here, probably get eye drop bodies out of this fight, and having to respawn. And so the fact that Ying able to heal and provide the crucial damage has given Astro Authority a chance. The chicken absolutely annihilates El Zulu and Grapple in the process, and that means that Astro Authority will move ahead 2-0 to start this match.
And that, you know, that is so worth it. I was going to say they may not even need it, but who cares? It's an Evil Mojo. Pip can get his ultimate charged up very quickly because he's spamming. You know, he's always landing shots. The explosive flask is easy to lock down. A lot of good follow-up damage with your next left click. So getting that charged up so quickly, it's absolutely worth it to pop it on that Soul frontliner and guarantee that you get the 2-0 conversion, because this composition from Astro Authority needs to win quick, because the Cauterize, and especially so the Wrecker, is going to make things difficult for him. You saw how long Warden was able to hold down the front line by himself, having all three people or two people, excuse me, with Wrecker from AGG shooting him, and that's going to be a smaller and smaller window there that he leaves open for Dosups to try and find a pick.
It's going to be important for iDropBodies to probably continue to have good hooks, but also stay alive. He misses the hook there, unfortunately, but look at the damage coming out. Gus Cutie gets a kill, and his ultimate's already charged to 41%. In the back, though, they turn their attention. iDropBodies looking to finish off Prince Danny TV as Rovenick slays Wardoom in the front lines, but the damage that he had done in this fight earlier has given them all the room they need. 42% and counting for Astro Authority, looking dominant in this first match.
Dosap has hit his last 7 shots, so that's just guaranteed 7,000 damage across the team fight. Putting everyone in such a rough spot, you know. Taking that 1,000 damage from Shaolin puts you in kill range of Makoa or a Fireball. That sort of follow-up that the tanks can manage is why Astro Authority is succeeding right now. The consistent damage and poke coming out from Dosups is just unstoppable.
Huge hook right there by iDropBodies. Not had the longest lifespans, to say the least, but he got a great hook there and allowed the kill to happen on the Grapple, who was flanking. Meanwhile, we see J Bubble Boy here right now, going into the back line and getting the stun mid-air. Actually not getting the stun in air, but dying in the process. Wardoom, just one of those frontliners, Nick. He's pretty iconic in the way he plays his champions.
You saw how aggressively he was playing right there. Prince Danny able to shut this push down, though, with a double accursed arm. But you see, right, this situation right here with the shield up, you know, less than 1,000 HP. This is how he plays. He knows exactly when to throw it up and get out. And he's baiting 2 or 3 people in his face and makes it easy for his team to clean it up. And then he escapes somehow every single time. He managed to weasel his way out from the back line to the safety of his Ying.
He is a weasel. He's a weasel, and he is weaseling his way to victory so far. 3-0 goes to score.
I mean,
a minute and 30 seconds, and you know that he will be applying pressure. It just forces Grapple back. And despite the records ticking down on the shield, Wardoom's not going anywhere anytime soon. Prince Danny TV bringing the focus onto the frontliners, but it leaves Cuss Cutie open on the left-hand side. The explosive flask looking to finish players off, put them in the slow, and finish this thing up with a great healing potion on the left-hand side.
We're seeing there's kill potential here. If Bodies lands a hook Wardoom and he can finish a kill, there comes the Dragon Punch in combination with the Dread Serpent here. I expect AGG to win this team fight. The Immortal's going to keep everyone up for the time being. No shield cooldown available just yet, but Astro Authority are not losing this team fight.
That was great. That was great because they finished off the Drogos. The failed Dragon Punch, thanks to the Immortal that Wardoom used to make sure he was immune, allowed them to finish off Drogos, who was stationary there for a bit. And Bubble Boy getting pressured out by Wardoom in the back line. Going to slither away if he can, but the damage over time will secure the kill. Wardoom now, here is the shield, and he is still alive somehow. Wardoom in the background, and just the immense pressure coming through from all the members of Astro Authority have made this almost an impossible task for AGG to defend. There's 24 seconds on the clock, but there's none than one needed to finish this up and secure the 4-0 Game 1 victory.
I mean, that's a textbook double tank win there on Jaguar Falls. Now, double tank is strong on Jaguar Falls as well, so they find the window for Dosups to just find this consistent damage. And also, when they were alone, iDropBodies and Warden were finding kills on their own. Makoa can put a lot of hurt on you with his combination. Dosups 57,000 damage there, and the tank's not too far behind there at about 30,000. Cuss Cutie getting some good damage there, but he always had clutch Evil Mojos at the end of the round. He was always there to punch through, always in position, and that's where the single frontliner can hurt you when you get Evil Mojo'd. There's nothing really you can do unless you have Resilience 3, and even then, it's still a crapshoot whether or not you're going to be able to survive that.
Well, it all went the way of Astro Authority this time. Let's take a look at the map for Game 2 and see where they will be testing their might against one another. Serpent Beach will be the location, Nick. One of our dark maps, nighttime focused, a little bit redone lately. but still something these players are very comfortable on.
Yep, it's similar point style to Jaguar Falls, except it's a little bit more open. It's not as closed in on the spectrum as we would see. Team AGG with the first pick this time. Gonna snag Makoa. No Maeve just yet, but we saw Spunky do fantastic with Maeve on this map, opening things up with that triple kill in the back line. A lot of ways for her to get in and get out of team fights.
That is the question. Now that Astral Authority, we know, has the value for Torvald inherently in their picks, will they, now that they don't have Makoa, look to offset that with maybe a Fernando and a Torvald, maybe a Torvald as a solo frontliner? Again, though, they go for the Drogos and the Moldamba. So right now we're looking at North America and seeing these 3 picks, or at least in this matchup, are extremely highly contested.
Yeah, so far a mirror draft from these 2 teams. Fernando and Shaolin would continue that trend. There's one of the pieces locked in right now. Do AGG let Fernando go?
No.
They do. Picking it up against Drogos, it's risky. I mean, Astral Authority just made it work.
Yeah.
But all things told, it
I'm
is
not
a
sure
risk
they
picking it
have.
up.
I'm not sure that they're inclined. That lineup isn't necessarily inclined, in my eyes, to really thrive with.
It looks like they're just trying to get people on their comfort picks.
Yeah, and I'm not even sure that Astral Authority is inclined to have a double frontliner. iDrop Bodies didn't seem extremely comfortable on the Makoa. He did a decent job. Makoa's a great champion to have in your roster, but I know him. He is a very strong aimer. He is all about playing the Androxuses, the Cassies.
Yeah.
He can really hit those pinpoint shots. Ruckus now, that could be a little bit more of his territory, but we've seen Dosips have
That looks like a
lot
Dosip
of
pick to
success
me.
on that one.
Bodies, I would assume, would be on Cassie here.
Yeah.
Vex probably on Maldamba. Cuss going to be on Drogos. Ying selected here for Team AGG. Fernando still on the board. Bomb King, though, is the selection. So Fernando, I mean, he may make it through unpicked.
I think Fernando could come up here if they're worried about Bomb King being able to hit Torvald a little too easily because he doesn't have that movement
I don't
skill.
think they'll go Fernando here. No.
Wow.
They go Kinessa. So War Doom on Ruckus. Probably.
I don't know. This is going to be...
I've never
We'll
seen
just
him
have to
play
see.
anything but tanks.
Yeah. War Doom has a lot of opportunities here to, flex on some different roles. Cuss Cutie as well. He's one of the best flexers they have. And it will be actually Cuss Cutie on the Kinessa. iDrop Bodies will be on the Drogos. Dosips on the Cassie. Vex 30 on the Moldamba, and War Doom on that Ruckus.
So no Fernando. Ruckus makes it in over the top of him. Prince Danny will be on Androxus with that cauterized Bubble Boy on Ying. Rovanik on Bomb King, Grapple on Shaolin, and El Zulu playing Makoa. So looking very comfortable is AGG with their picks. But definitely, I think I can say the same about Astral Authority. I don't often see War Doom playing Ruckus, but I don't imagine he has an issue with it.
Yeah, he can't play that kind of in your face. I'm just going to be able to get out after I commit fully to you, because Ruckus doesn't have that same amount
chickens.
of...
We don't know.
I mean, we wouldn't expect it. He could master riding Hexafire onto some of the back line. I've seen it happen before. There's the initial salvo. Hits a Yink clone. That's going to do
almost
some
20%
damage.
ult charge from that.
And that's huge because he's now going to be able to have that Dragon Punch up so much faster with 12% still for AGG. They're going to have to worry about this Drogos because he's going to be able to basically counter anyone with that punch, and no Immortal on the side of either team with Fernando being left out of the draft. Bomb King doing a good job. Rovanik, he's one of the best in the business at the King, and he's going to use the Bobby Bomb to try and pressure out iDrop Bodies. Hits one, and that will slay the flank, actually the damage class on the side of Astral.
Oh, barely able to escape with 42 HP there, but he will go down to Dosips from across the map, and that's how oftentimes I'm seeing Bomb King succeed nowadays. Just literally getting in your face. He's got 2,500 HP at base and just blasting through as many people as he can before being taken out.
Great plays by Prince Danny TV. Anticipate the teleporter. Whoa! That hurt quite a lot. It hurt to watch that one. I might have to recover. It seems that iDrop Body is going to have to go back to base again. So a couple quick kills. And Prince Danny TV, this is the snowball we talk about with Androxus. This is what he can do. Oh, hits the BM and gets sniped out of it, Cuss Cutie, with the revenge kill.
Oh my god, that's my favorite thing I've seen happen all day. The Grumpy Bomb just on the bodies. Oh my god, it's good enough there. It's good enough. 1-0 for HG after just a bloodbath of a team fight there. Everyone just dropping kills left, right, and center. Meanwhile, Bubble Boy was on the point pretty much for the majority of that. Gets it capped for his team. Man, that was just justice. Immediate karma right there. The second he hits the beak, he just gets his head taken off.
Pretty entertaining stuff.
Nice,
there.
no reversal there for
Doseps,
Prince Danny.
He's now going to be finding himself up on the upper ledge, just trying to find a way to stall this aggressiveness. And again, I think everything went wrong with iDrop Bodies having, Prince Danny TV, excuse me, having the ability to just free farm in the backline. And Droxus, when he's up close, he hits for 600 and he hits fast. So the issue is if he can be uncontested in that backline, the pinpoint accuracy Prince Danny TV's bringing to this match, it's going to put Knessa, it's going to put a lot of their other champions at risk.
Rovnik looking for some poke damage here. It's very valuable on Bomb King as he does hit hard. All the blasters hit for a minimum of 900 plus before mitigation. Find some poke damage there on Warden, but healed up almost instantaneous here. Now, minute 22nd remaining. AGG have some ultimates coming up. Cursed Arm, Heat Haze, King Bomb, Illusory Rift, and Ancient Rage are all not far off the mark, so it could be a very powerful team fight coming up here. Bodies opens things up with a pick, but Cuscuity gets shut down out of the Headhunter.
Good shots by Bodies. He's going to get one kill on there, and now Bubble Boy's going to be following along with the Ying, looking to actually shatter these clones, maybe to get some extra damage, and chasing down Wardoom, who just doesn't have the same type of mobility as the Fernando, but he is still going to be going forward, and Bubble Boy will have to give up that chase unless he stops healing his team, which in many ways, Wardoom, that was a success for him because they had no Ying, and now he gets the double kill on the grapple and Bubble Boy. That's gotta hurt.
That's just getting punished right there. He did give up the chase, and either way, give up the chase or not, Wardoom is getting value there because he's pulling attention off of the front line, off of the defense right now. He's just trying to stall as much time as he can. He gets out of combat, heals up, comes back in, gets a double kill. El Zulu gets picked off there as well, so very staggered right now is AGG. They'll probably be struggling to get this team fight, and it's a very risky maneuver for them to try and spend so much because one clean team fight here won't guarantee them this conversion. They are still about 25% of the way from the conversion point. They already have a Cursed Arm down, so I don't know how much of a disadvantage AGG is looking to put themselves and how much of a risk they're looking to take.
Yeah.
And they just back off here. Rovnik gets picked off at the last. Not the worst situation. I like seeing the 1-1 here with not a lot spent. You know, go into this, you know, with your head held high. They have the ultimate advantage here because they held a lot. Scout's not ready to go. Dragon Punch is down, and Headhunter is as well. So only Hexafire and Dread Serpent available for Astral Authority going into this team fight.
Cuscuity has the opportunity with Master Riding to get to where he needs to be. There's not a lot of counters for him on AGG. Really, the only one long range is going to deal with him is Grapple. Rovnik, if he can get there, is going to be somebody that can contend with Cuss. But Cuss's positioning could be a little bit more superior here. He found himself on the low ground. Probably not where Knessa typically wants to.
I don't know if I agree with the double Wrecker coming out against the solo Ruckus. I mean, with Shaolin, even without Wrecker, Shaolin and Bomb King are going to deal with Ruckus's emitter shield in 3 shots.
Yeah, it's a lot of
that's a little overkill.
Focus and attention. I mean, it's 1,200 credits for your team going into that, but they do want to get rid of Wardoom, and you saw how difficult it was for Bubble Boy to finish him off. So deciding that if they can finish the Wardoom problem, if they can answer that question, they will have the game locked up. Nice inherent and instinctive reversal by Prince Danny TV. He will find the nether steps again to reset the dash, and 45% for AGG now. Bodies and the team of Astral Authority content to just poke while the Headhunter gets activated.
Finding 2 already. Bubble Boy might get taken out, gets his way around the corner. Shaolin, nice drop down. Bubble Boy goes down anyway to Doseps, rolling around to clean up everyone that Cuscuity is poking low, but needs to get on the point here. 57 to 27 and climbing now for Astral Authority. They have to get in control of this. The respawns are starting to come through for AGG, and they do have the Ancient Rage, which is very, very good for turning around team fights where you do not have the favorable positioning.
They've got to get a couple of picks here. Rovnik doing a great job. Mid-air slams drop Bodies, and Cuscuity takes one onto Rovnik in return, but Prince Danny TV, having slayed Doseps, has now put his team at a serious advantage. Wardoom will surely fall to El Zulu, and a great shot by Cuscuity will take Prince Danny TV out of the fight, but he's a Knessa, and he is left. He tried to get the overtime, but Rovnik is here to clean things up. This is again looking like it's going to head the way of AGG.
And it is. AGG go up 2-1 here with this payload push. One shot on Doseps, doesn't find it though. Wardoom is here to cover his escape. Ancient Rage still available. Didn't have to use that, so this solo Ruckus is struggling to bully his way. And that's kind of what comes with, they only have Makoa, they don't have Makoa Fernando, so they have a lot of pressure on anyone looking to come in on their point. Rovnik finds the pick on the Cuscuity before rotating out. One more shot will do it. Drop bodies takes a spill as well, and this is how Bomb King's being played nowadays. He's just getting straight into the back line and just dominating you right in your face because his shots are so hard to land, and he's got a lot of health, so players are just getting in people's faces where it's very easy to land.
And he just throws the Grumpy Bomb because he says, fight me, fight me. If you're going to fight me here, we got 3 seconds to rumble. Unless you bought Resilience 3, you're going to get stunned, and I'm going to eventually win this duel. But that is, of course, if he's 1v1. He got the advantage, or at least Astral Authority got the advantage of numbers in that last defense. But Wardoom looks to fall down here, and this is a big moment for AGG. If they can push this, that puts them at 3-1, gives them a huge advantage. So in response, Gus Judy activates the Headhunter, but finds no value. In fact, gets taken down, drops bodies, goes into the Dragon Punch, looking for one, but there are 4 others, and that means that AGG will eventually push this into a successful 3-1 lead here on Serpent Beach.
Actually, all those sticky bombs onto Wardoom look like when he exploded them, it killed Dosups just being nearby. But yeah, 3-1 now. And Astral Authority had to spend on the defense there and didn't find their mark. They spent Headhunter, they spent Dread Serpent, they used Dragon Punch. So not a lot left in the tank here for this offense, and still El Zulu sitting on that Ancient Rage. So he's just waiting for the perfect moment here to pop that. And that's such a game-changing ultimate. That's one that I will sit on for a while because it is such a huge swing thing to bait a bunch of people in and just full heal yourself to 10k and start going to town. King Bomb, it is ready to go, however. Items starting to get fleshed out here. No cauterized 3s for AGG, but the healing pressure doesn't seem to be doing much because they just have so much burst damage.
Prince Danny TV waiting patiently on the backside, finding an opportunity to now snowball this. Rovenick already takes care of Kinessa, and Prince Dan TV is finding himself having the easiest flank job in the world, still waiting to aggress, and now finally makes a move. But meanwhile, Rovenick is doing everything for the side of AGG. Gets 1 kill, gets 2, already slayed the Kinessa in this round. That's 3 out of 5 members that Rovenick has personally dealt with in this team fight, thanks to the support from his squad, and of course this magnificent play and positioning by Bomb King. Cannot believe he got out of that one. Astral AGG looking to clean this up with 85% now on the objective.
Hexafire, but here's the King Bomb there. Awkward little positioning, but he stuns Wardoom immediately when the Hexafire ends, and just so much zone control. AGG able to find the win. Bubble Boy just chilling out on the point the whole time.
AGG really looking strong there, Nick. Having, I think, just a better draft and a better understanding of those champions.
That's weird for me to take the solo Ruckus. I feel like maybe that was a bait for AGG to go into the Fernando, and they picked the Bomb King instead. I mean, that's not something I think Astral Authority even saw coming. You know, it's weird to me to stick Wardoom on a Ruckus with Fernando left unpicked.
You know, I think also the last pick, Kinessa, was odd for me too. I don't think that had much synergy with this composition. I don't really see anybody who's going to help alleviate some of that pressure on
there was
the
no
side
flank
to
pressure.
deal with.
There was nothing.
You know, Prince Danny TV, if they have to deal with an Eevee, that's one thing, and that opens up a lot for your team. I would have much rather seen that come out rather than the Kinessa from the backside, because Rovenick just showed he's a master.
Grapple died 3 times, 71,000 damage on the Shaolin. It's because he wasn't under pressure at all. I don't think I ever saw anybody except Dosups maybe here and there in the back line, and just not able to get it done. Only 37,000 damage for this Drogos as well. So getting beat out by an Androxus and almost the Makoa in contention for that damage spot as well.
Time to go to the map screen for game 3 between AGG and Astral Authority. Frog Isle will be the 3rd selection. It's so imperative that these teams find this win now, of course, because it is a best of 5. This is going to put one ahead, make it very difficult for the other to really come back after showing that both these teams have a lot of evenness to their ability to compete with one another. Now going into the draft, we can expect another Makoa, but will we expect the Drogos Maldamba from AGG again?
It's tough to say. Astral Authority on this map.
That's been the losing combination.
They could go Torvald. It has been the losing combination. I don't know. Because of that, I don't want to draw the causation to those 2 picks. I would rather draw it to the rest of the draft. Personally, it is going to be the Drogos Damba selection. So this is where things hopefully start to switch up.
No, Nick, Drogos and Maldamba are bad. Okay,
they're trash tier.
They're trash tier. Okay, come on. That's why they lost.
BK and Kinessa for life, dog.
Hey.
There's the Torvald. So on Frog Isle, Astral pull it out, but too early. It's tough to say because AGG haven't
know.
shown that they are or aren't going to pull this out just yet. So they want to secure it. Does the Mave come to complement this?
And you never know if AGG exactly are really going to like it on this map. Or the problem with taking it this early, too, is that there's risk for AGG now to really look at a counter-heavy composition. I mean, you can expect a Cassie coming in now that they've taken Shaolin. You can obviously anticipate that. But will they grab the Mave, who's very good at countering Torvald as well, and also can get countered by Torvald? So it's a nice pickup, but they go with the Fernando Androxus instead. Prince Danny TV, that is a comfort pick for him. And so that's not a bad choice.
And Torvald's so vulnerable to Salvo right now. It's really bad. I played a game as Torvald and just getting ripped apart. Once he gets the Wrecker 2 online, you just stand no chance. Doesn't look like they're going to go for the Mave, though, as they do lock in the Eevee Ying. Probably to be their last selection here for the healer. Grover boys.
Yeah, I've seen Cuss Cutie play Grover a couple of times. He's actually had quite a bit of success with that champion. Of course, this is with a different roster. Astral Authority taking the 3 core, but now trying to implement Vex and Bodies into this. Still, I think, trying to find synergy. Will we find Bodies? Most likely on that Makoa now. And will Cuss Cutie be, who will be playing the Eevee? Right, of course.
Probably Cuss.
Will Vex be on the Grover? I haven't seen Vex's Grover very often. And here comes the buff. Side of AD.
So Grover is pretty good at healing double frontliner, so we'll be Cuss on the Eevee, Wardoom on the Torvald, Dosups on Shaolin, Bodies on Makoa, and then Vex on Grover.
And on the side of AGG, Bubble Boy on Maldamba, Prince Danny TV on the Androxus, Grapple on Fernando, Robinik on Buck, and El Zulu on the Dragon. As we get started with this game, it's tied up 1-1 in the series. It's a best of 5, and this determines so much for these teams. Who's going to go into the finals? It's Astral Authority versus AGG right now. Frog Isle, Wardoom getting ready to ride in as the Torvald.
So double Wrecker, double Cauterize for AGG. Just double Cauterize. No need for the Wrecker here from Astral Authority right out of the gate anyway. Dosups might be picking that one up later, but I don't know if I like the Buck into the Torvald here. Whoever Buck is looking to jump in on, just drain. Oh, that's why they didn't pick up Wrecker right there.
Yep.
Yeah, right there. Just immediately draining that Torvald shield. Torvald is so effective at it. Dosups picking up the Buck immediately. So not only do I not like Buck versus Shaolin, but I don't like Buck versus Shaolin with a Torvald bubble around the Shaolin.
Yeah, absolutely. That's not going to be a good one going. 2,000 HP going to be added on, and we can take a look at Torvald's loadout when we have a chance just to see what other types of cards he's going to be running here. This is the typical build we saw. Time Shaper, Hearth Warder. He's also got Scribe's Wit to reduce the cooldown of Runic Blast, being so important for the silence and the disarm that provides. Trying to use it there onto the Buck. He's going to be jumping away, but right now this is all Astral Authority.
Suck it away.
See you later, Shield. And Fernando now forced to just Flame Lance and dodge out of there. Grapple kind of shaking his head as to how he's going to get on this point and have a lifespan.
That was dominant. So they're saving AGG's saving grace later is that their Wreckers are going to be higher level. They'll hopefully be able to destroy this Torvald shield a little bit easier, so he can't do that. He's going to be forced into situations where he has to recharge without that Fernando shield, and that's going to be up to AGG to be playing around the recharge shield, because right now there's so much space for their item pickups because they don't need Wrecker right now. This is the only thing they would have need Wrecker for, and Wardoom is all over this Fernando shield. He hasn't gotten a single one off without it being drained away.
And if Eevee can keep keeping the flanks busy, the damage champions busy, Cuss Cutie doing a great job as well. If Drogos' eyes aren't on Torvald, he's going to have a field day. That's what they need to deal with him. But Cuss Cutie's been in the back line so often that has been so difficult for this Drogos as he slays El Zulu with a great behind-the-back shot. 2 for Cuss Cutie in a row, and he's blinking, looking for more.
Where was Cuss's Eevee back in the day? Now Fernando trying to hold things down, but just getting away from this Torvald. He doesn't want any part of it, shield or not. 1 minute and 26 seconds remain here as Astral Authority approach the final few feet of this payload push, and the impale to get Fernando away. They don't even have the chance for the contest.
That was the ultimate from Torvald being used to basically just secure, Nick, the push. And how important is that? I mean, it changes the game when you're talking about these tight overtimes as well. Torvald in the lineup is a whole different thing that teams really need to learn how to deal with.
It just blows everyone off the point, and you know, it can take them off the map at almost any stage of the game on Frog Isle. That's why I think we saw it come out so early on this map, because if anyone's inclined to pull it out, it's going to be on Frog Island. Just like we talked about the Evil Mojo, that's definitely worth popping. This even more so because Hyper Beam charges incredibly quickly just because of the consistency of Torvald's damage in a team fight. You know, it's not exactly hard to keep that beam locked onto your target. It's just a matter of getting there to do so.
Bubble Boy getting cauterized too'd whenever Wardoom is near. And look at this, Vex 30 just zoning out with these axes. They can do so much damage. And the ability of Grover to just vine close to his teammates with the comms they have, if they're ever in trouble, it's going to be so valuable. The huge flank comes through, a nice anticipatory withdrawal coming in from Doseps, and that's going to mean that the Slay goes down to Prince Annie TV, and that's going to mean after the Buckwild ultimate is popped, Robonik will find the dead. The follow-up there, however, onto El Zulu after he gets the kill on the Wardoom is a decent trade for AGG, but not what they're looking for here, especially with Gus Cutie in the background and Doseps firing those Shaolin arrows.
They trade 2 ultimates for 2 Hyper Beam, or not Hyper Beam, Heat Haze and Whirlwind traded out for Buckwild and Dragon Punch, and still coming out on top. Long range Accursed Arm gets nothing, so make that 3 ultimates now spent for AGG. Astral Authority in total control of the point. Doseps is so hard to bring down, 2150 health. He's running that basically based off a loadout, and then the Torvald bubbles on top of that, and the team's response, how quickly they were able to get there. There's a Dread Serpent that's way off the mark, so just AGG falling apart right now.
Shaolin able to, you know, take this, taking Swagger, making him a little bit more, really just sustainable, right? In some of these 1v1s, especially with Buck, but also Skewer too.
Here he goes. He's going to clean this up.
The reveal, Nick. I mean, that's very important. Hitting that second shot, usually hit the 1, and then you're looking to follow up on the kill with the second. He's going to have them revealed for 2 seconds there, which I don't mind at all. And of course, Wanderlust is going to make sure that Shaolin is as fast as possible. Gets stunned though by Bubble Boy, trying to keep his team alive, doing everything that he can, but Planet is going to zone him out as well. Astral Authority playing like a team.
This is a really bad round from AGG in terms of their ultimate uses. That Fernando ultimate just saves him. The Dread Serpent misses. It's off the mark totally. It's after the payload is captured, so finds nothing. Immortal buys, you know, that minimum 4 seconds for Fernando. He goes down immediately after. Hyper Beam positioning is flawless right now. There goes Fernando off the map, back in the spawn room, creating space. It was a little bit early, but I wouldn't have been able to resist that either.
I mean, come on, it was beautiful. He thought he could have gotten 2 there as well. I don't mind that idea. And now look at this. He's not even scared of this Drogos. Maybe Wardoom a little bit too aggressive, but no.
Maybe he wasn't too early.
That perfectly because they know they just needed to buy a couple more seconds, and they got themselves
the defender. Yeah, the defender respawn time is 12 seconds at that point in the game. So he just buys enough time. That Fernando is nowhere seen on the field, and then he pushes everybody back into spawn, and then he just puts his body in front of him. Says, "Where you going? What you doing?
Where you going, dog?
Trying to get that suit jacket off the chair?"
Not through me. Not through me.
It's a Doseps, baby. 47K.
Great stuff by him. And the entire team. I mean, they all played very well. This seemed like everyone was kind of firing on all cylinders finally. But the Torvald pick and Cuss on, not the Kinessa, but on a champion there where he's not playing defensive, he's more offensive, seemed to be huge differences for me.
And it's something that he can play. It's something that he didn't play. Smidgen always used to play that back on the match point roster, but with these bubbles, maybe this gives Cuz Cutie the confidence he needs to pull out the EV more often. Maybe this is just something he realizes he needs to be able to play for his team. Every team should have a good EV. Haven't seen any Mave play yet today in North America. So EU favoring the Mave, NA taking the Torvald.
Now let's move on to the next map, because now Team Astral Authority have the lead against AGG, and it will be a fan favorite, Ice Mines. Next map for both of these teams to clash on. Notorious for being incredibly difficult to push and very, very easy and advantage for defenders to defend here. But if they have that kind of snowball team comp again, Nick, in the champion select, we'll be heading to in just a moment, it could be another 4-0 if things don't go right.
It has, you know, Astral Authority have shown that they can snowball a game. I mean, Frog Isle, that looked like a burrito win right there on Frog Isle. Burrito always are able to find wins on Frog Isle, and it feels like 10 minutes or less is their Pizza Man guarantee for that map. AGG with the first pick here. It's going to be the Makoa. Astral Authority here. Will they pull out the Torvald? I mean, I felt like that was very impactful.
Yeah. I felt like that too. I really liked it.
But part of that, I think, comes off the back of A, it's Frog Isle, B, they cornered AGG into having just Fernando, and Torvald is super effective against Fernando Shield.
That's right.
They don't have to buy any records. They get to spend it all on damage mitigation. None of the flankers can find. It was just a chain reaction, right, off the back of that Torvald pick on that. So Makoa still the first pick here. Astral Authority have, this whole series has gone Makoa, Drogos, Damba.
Yeah.
The first 3 picks.
Yeah.
And it looks like it's going to continue to be that way.
Drogos and Damba just working together, kind of the pair that NA seems to be favoring. And it's not just NA, it's the matchup specifically that we're finding them to be super valuable in. Another key component for this lineup as well, when we talk about Torvald against Fernando, that's incredibly impressive. But Torvald against Makoa, actually one of the front lines, if not maybe the best front line at countering him specifically.
Yeah, it's not a great matchup for Torvald. Because Makoa can go into Wrecker and being the hardest hitting tank. Well, you know, Ruckus and him are about the same, but they're both effective with Wrecker is the moral of the story here. And he can just box him out with Wrecker 1 or Wrecker 2. Makoa is more often than not going to win that trade. You know, there's zero mobility on the side of Torvald, so Makoa has the option to get out, hook Torvald into a bad spot, a lot of things. And then Ancient Rage, I mean, Ancient Rage is Ancient Rage. It's not super great against Torvald, but you will still win. If it comes to that, if push comes to shove, you can win the 1v1 there with Ancient Rage. Fernando, Cassie, the next two selections for AGG.
And this is what kind of is going to tell a lot about Astro Authority and where they want to go. They take the Ruckus again. I don't think AGG... Well, now, here, you know, they took the Ruckus in a similar spot, Nick, and they were hoping, I think, AGG took the Fernando. Now, will they follow up with their damage and their healing in line with another Torvald, or will they look to maybe supplement this?
I think Torvald could be good right now.
You know, we see Eevee was really good for them. I mean, they have the flex options, right? If AGG go for something a little bit more stationary, you know, Victor sometimes played on this map, can contribute if he's able to hang up in that balcony and do a ton of damage. We saw Maki like to play that style. Bomb King, though, selected, and this could give Astro Authority, okay,
that makes it tough.
That Bomb King kind of wrecked us last game. Maybe no Torvald this time.
Yep, so the King Bomb ultimate destroying all shields is going to just find a lot of value against the Torvald. It's going to take him, stun him out, 3-4 bombs to follow up with.
No movement skill.
It's a guaranteed kill for the King. Astro Authority, I think they're stalling on this last pick now, so I think they kind of maybe wanted the Torvald.
It's a big decision.
It's now this wrench is in their plan, right? Because the Bomb King it's not super common either. So when that pops up, you got to be like, all right, well, we got to think about this now for a second.
And also, I think Bomb King coming here, and there's the Torvald as well. You see that happening right now. The Bomb King is a pick that can easily snowball and be the best thing you've ever seen and the most exciting thing Paladins Esports has, you know, ever witnessed. But it can also be a little bit underwhelming. I mean, sometimes the bombs aren't landing. You're not hitting your shots, and he dies pretty quickly despite having that health pool and the zoning potential. Ice Mines doesn't have as much room to fly on the objective capture as probably set Jaguar Falls or Serpent Beach.
Sure, but Gropey Bomb is that much more effective to zone, right?
Exactly.
What pros on Serpent Beach are cons on Ice Mines, but likewise cons on Serpent Beach are pros on Ice Mines.
Exactly. So how do you figure that out?
And definitely, I think the King Bomb here is going to be super key, because if Torvald is at full shield, and he's more likely to be in this game with Makoa and Fernando, so he has 2 shields that he can try and drain, but it also puts Astro Authority in a position where they probably need to pick up some Wrecker as well, because he's not going to be able to cover both.
And we also mentioned, you know, Torvald having that opportunity to kind of be countered by Makoa. One interesting point is that Torvald actually can counter Makoa. Like, it's really weird, all these in dynamics here, because
I haven't 1v1'd enough Makoas, I don't think, with Torvald to be able to make a clear call on it.
With the thing that Torvald can do well is when Makoa gets the Dredge Anchor onto a target, he can silence them out so that shot doesn't actually hit. They're able to remove themselves from that fight, or he could bubble that person right when Makoa gets hit so that extra bonus damage is just absorbed by a shield. There's a lot of good opportunities for Torvald to fight against Makoa here too. Absolutely.
And 1v1 scenarios, you know, Hyper Beam, if that comes into effect, definitely.
But he can go CC immune.
In 2 spots, yeah, that's true, and hook him out of it. So there are 2 things that Makoa, it's a lot's up in the air, right? It's going to come down to execution between those 2 players.
That's true.
On the front line. Hyper Beam, though, is going to be effective. There is Hazard Zone. That's fairly easy to hit on the Ice Mines point, because anyone, if you come in through the small little lodge, basically, anyone sitting on the point is going to be susceptible to that, because the vertical knockback just at base on Hyper Beam is going to be able to push you over the tower. That kind of protects you from the Hazard Zone, but it's not going to buy you enough time.
Will they go into resilience here? The reduction in Haven and Blast Shields, it's so common to take it. It's so standard. It's so safe.
I mean, against Dread Serpent, Hyper Beam, the silence. You're looking at Impale Stuns as well, Fire Spit knockbacks.
There's a lot of value they could find from from it. Will this be something they invest in? I would probably wait on my defensive item to see how impactful it is and go with a utility or a damage right now. And that seems to be what at least Grapple, Rovinik, and Bubble Boy are doing on the side of AGG. They'll be playing Fernando, Bomb King, and Ying, respectively. Prince Danny TV rounding things up on the side of Cassie, and El Zulu on Makoa.
Cuskitty will be on Drogos, Bodies on Ruckus, Dosups on Shaolin, Wardoom on Torvald, and Vex 30 on Maldamba. So 2 cauterizes off the back. Right off the bat here. 1 wrecker for Dosups, and that should cover their bases, I think. Cuskitty doesn't need... He goes into the Chronos, though. Cuskitty, he does go into Chronos a lot more, I think.
Can we look at his deck as well to see, is he running that Spitfire 2? Spitfire 4, Nick. He's going for the Salvo. Spitfire 4, going for the Chronos as well to reduce the cooldown even more, but gets picked immediately. Will the shield come out? Torvald should be there. Is he there? He's not. Torvald distracted with something else, cannot shield his buddy. And unfortunately, Cuskitty gets picked off. Great plays by Astral Authority starting things off, but Dosups here hits a big shot on the Rovinik. It's going to put him back now. Bubble Boy in trouble here as well. And this shield could start to melt. Torvald in the front line, and Dosups still free firing.
Now, doesn't have any pressure on the Cassie just yet. She's sitting healthy, but Body's starting to bully his way onto the point. Stun into the planet is going to be good on the Rovinik. The deadliest combo that there is. Still healthy. Has the emitter shield as well. Back into a corner. Makoa with nowhere to go. El Zulu takes a spell. 2 for 1. Astro Authority are leading this team fight.
I drop Body's just doing a great job of focusing El Zulu. He's a great Makoa.
Stun.
But right now, there's just too much DPS and just not enough S for AGG because they need time and they don't have it. Astral Authority very slowly but surely climbing ahead in this one. El Zulu coming back in a great zone there, but he had already gotten off his mount anyways. The key here is, Nick, can Torvald keep Cuskitty alive, keep Dosups alive in those clutch pull situations.
Ready. He's like look at King Bomb's at 40% on Immortal and Ancient Rage, and this is where Hyper Beam could be good if he goes into it. There it is, right over the tower, just like we were talking. But the charge back onto the map is still not enough. He goes off the edge.
Rovinik was flying in the air there. I don't know if he just didn't prioritize the kill on the Rovinik, didn't think it mattered, but I feel like if he would have gone up while Rovinik was in the air arcing from that Poppy Bomb, he could have pushed him out as well, but at least gets the frontliner, and you see how impactful Torvald's ultimate is, not just because of what it does, but how fast it charges.
Absolutely. You can see he's already sitting at 40% on the Hyper Beam for the... So that's something you can blow on the point, have it ready to go on the conversion as well, and that can get you the elusive Ice Mines conversion that so many teams struggle to find. 181 health in the backline. Rovinik going to be able to get out of combat, but he's separated from his team. It's going to be difficult for them to rotate back in safely without getting picked off.
That's the key. Rovinik trying to do his best, but again, Nick, is this the game that the bombs aren't falling? He's got a lot of time, but so far he's kind of been picked off. Hasn't made as much of an impact as he had on Serpent Beach. Great setup though. El Zulu pulls eye drop Bodies into the Grumpy Bomb stun and now puts him at a bad spot, but that shield and the emitter will be helpful to at least delay the inevitable, his death. 1 minute and 24 seconds now on the clock for Astro Authority to push this. AGG looking to hold strong. Ying Clone's getting set up by Bubble Boy, and he just trying to keep his team alive and stave off this intense pressure.
This Torvald is vulnerable right now. They should be collapsing on him while he was alone, but they let him live. His team is now back with him, and Rovinik's in a rough spot. The recharge is going to just chew through that shell shield immediately. The silence into the follow-up from Dosups is good, but Warden falling lower and lower. There's the Dread Serpent on the front side to keep things under control, but AGG looking like they're starting to struggle here. Bubble Boy's got nowhere to go. He's going to fall down, and Hyper Beam is ready and primed.
He's getting the recharge, getting the shields back online. Immortal comes out from the Fernando, and he's going to keep him and his Makoa alive for just 1 moment, but it's not going to last long enough. El Zulu falls, the shield falls, and eventually Grapple falls as well. The Hyper Beam is here, but it's not needed. Astral Authority claim authority over this game and take a 2-0 lead on Ice Mines.
It feels like people don't know what to do against this Torvald right now. They're
AGG specifically.
A big whoopsie daisy for me is Wardoom is alone. Yeah. Right there. You know, it was a good thing that Cuskitty was able to pick off Prince Danny. But after that, you know, the other 4 members of AGG just backed off and let Wardoom live. He was alone, and, you know, that's exactly when you want to take Torvald out. When he is, you know, all by himself, he doesn't have any defensive options, and you've got a 4v1 man scenario with no hazards on it. He's not going to, you know, pull this crazy Hyper Beam and blow everyone off. There's no reason that they don't collapse on Wardoom right there. and take him out. He's able to live. His team rejoins him, and they find the conversion. Cauterize 2's now online for bodies. Wardoom, a lot of utility on the side of Astro Authorities. Chronos and Nimbles all over the place.
And, you know, the interesting thing, you know, with Time Shaper and Hearth Warder, he's just going to be protecting people and keep building up that shield himself just by throwing those bubbles out. And it's going to get extremely dangerous for AGG to let these fights go, because they're going to get baited into thinking they can get a kill, and all of a sudden 2k HP is going to go on top. But that's what they need to do. Prince Danny TV slays Wardoom. Grapple falls along with I Drop Bodies, and now this is Rovenick, and this is Doseps. They're 1v1 man fight. Elzulu tries to get in the mix with a nice hook, but Cusscutie will come to save the day and slay Rovenick in the hallway.
He got turned around. That's a bit unfortunate there. Doseps got hooked, actually got clipped on the window and stayed on the high ground. Rovenick thought he got pulled out of the window, and so he lost track of Doseps for just a moment, found himself impale stun, but so much time bought. AGG find the payload. Double kill for Wardoom, though, off the back of the Hyper Beam.
Salvo ready in charge by Cusscutie, going to look to find it to guarantee a kill. And again, Astral Authority, actually, excuse me, AGG able to find themselves a point here in this game, going to push back and look to zone out the members from the other team, Astral Authority are, and just make sure that their presence is felt. This is oftentimes the strategy we see with the higher level teams. This aggressive forward zone, confidently saying, no, you can't even touch this payload. We're not going to let you. And it matters.
Absolutely. Heat Haze now ready to go. Elzulu, after the withdrawal, finds Doseps here. Doesn't have Planet or anything to help box him out, but he will find the pop shot over the top before being taken down. Grapple credited with the shutdown onto Doseps here. Mending Spirits continuing to flow outward from Vex30 into his teammates to keep them healthy. Dread Serpent ready to go as well. Minute 30 seconds remaining here. Astro Authority for the first time have all 5 members and are ready to get this payload push off the ground.
And they want to make this happen. You know, AGG have luckily been able to, I think, capture this despite things not going their way. I mean, the big picks early on have allowed Rovenick to gain some rhythm. It's allowed, you know, Prince Danny TV to gain some rhythm on that Cassie. He's doing so well in the Androxus earlier. And Elzulu's been hitting some clutch hooks, Nick. For me, you know, his play right there was what turned that last point fight for them. But you could tell that they're just not in a position right now to aggress on Astro Authority in this game. They just seem that they're not able to push through.
They're struggling to find an angle, trying to bully their way around the backside right now, but Prince Danny gets separated from his frontliner and taken out, and now the rush in from AGG is being punished heavily after losing a first member. Doseps already with 2, make it 3, and a big punish coming out from Astral Authority there.
One of the great counters that Ruckus has to him is movement. When you can move away from Ruckus's damage, which you can usually because he's a low mobile tank, he doesn't have a lot of mobility, you're able to avoid his insane DPS, one of the highest in the game. With Torvald, that silence guarantees you're there for another 1.5 seconds. I mean, that's a big deal. Torvald in those fights with Ruckus allows
He's over 1,000
bodies
DPS, so that's,
to
you know,
get an extra, you know,
1,000 to 1,500 damage being pumped out from bodies in that situation. You're absolutely right.
It's a huge interaction that, you know, I wasn't really even aware of how strong that could be, but on the close quarter maps, especially like Ice Mines and some of these hallways and these pushes.
Shout outs to that Planet.
Wow,
They're finding the
kill,
cheeky triple kill right at the end.
Ult charged.
During the slow-mo, baby boy. Let's go.
And the point score now going 3-1 for Astral Authority. They got the push 2-0, and that just means so much, especially on Ice Mines. They're going to be able to win it here if they go and do what they continue to do.
Wardoom last time overextended a little bit, picked off his team. Wasn't behind him, don't know what the call was there, but he's got his ultimate. Everyone on Astral Authority has an ultimate charged up, whereas they're sitting 2 down, just barely off the mark on Scout there, but no illusory rift. Have some big things to try. And not get hyper beamed off the map here. The Ancient Rage and the Immortal both provide that CC immunity, but those are not great uses of either of those ultimates just to
survive.
I mean, you gotta survive one way or the other. So that's if Wardoom finds the angle on it, that's what's gonna happen.
Still a lot of hesitance immediately. Just wow, he doesn't get a kill. The Immortal is actually used. It does not save Makoa, but there's Wardoom's ult, and it just did not find the value that he wanted. The initial position of Elzulu was good enough that he did not get blown off the map, and Wardoom maybe a little too hasty with that. Elzulu now gonna face a lot of damage. Prince Danny TV with a great combo on to Doseps. Bubble Boy will finish him off, and now Wardoom left by himself. AGG are not out of it yet, ladies and gentlemen. 50%. and they're looking to hold strong here. This could be their point.
So where that went wrong, Shell Spin is classified as a charge, and charges like Fernando charge will counter the knockback from Hyper Beam for their duration, and he uses that to come in at like a 45-degree angle, so Wardoom no longer has the angle to be able to blow him off the map. Big Dread Serpent comes in, doesn't get anything here. Prince Danny finds 3 kills there, and AGG with another payload capture.
You know, it was a little bit of haste, I think, by Wardoom. You know, they see
that's very telegraphed too.
They see match point.
You even saw Fernando not go, and he didn't go onto the point. He's like, all right, I know exactly what he's going to do. He's done it in the past 2 rounds.
Yeah, and they should be worried about that, and I think this is the confidence that Wardoom and a lot of the guys, you know, from previously match point, now Astro Authority have displayed in their LAN moments, you know, in other moments throughout the esports scene, has, you know, there are some problems to that as well in terms of maybe finishing off teams that you could have. If that would have worked, just wait a little longer. Shell Spin was already used. They probably would have won this game already. But now AGG ready to push, and they're playing well, as you know, taking advantage of what they're given.
Salvo coming out, finding a lot of damage. Cuskcutie abusing that. I think that's the reason he's going for the Chronos here, is just for this Salvo cooldown, having that up. And you know, contrary to what Morale Boost is going to do for you, Chronos does it just in a different way. When you're getting more salvos off, you're getting more damage off. You're getting less ult charge per point of damage, sure, but you're getting those salvos off and getting the effectiveness of more salvos off in the battlefield. So, all things told, I'm starting to see the light here with the Chronos pickup.
Dude, salvos up in another 4 seconds. Spitfire 4, my God. Masterful 4, Spitfire 4, this guy's abilities are just running. This is AP Drogos.
AP Drogos. I like it. I like it a lot. Long range fire spit's going to connect as well, keeping everyone so poked they can't move up. They're just taking 1,000 damage after 1,000 damage, salvo after salvo.
And the fire spits as well, just zoning, and that knockback is very, very strong, especially when you know how to hit it. And Cuskcutie, he certainly does. He is a flex player. He's one of the best that we've got in North America. He's continuing to try and pressure out. Up in the air, goes the salvo onto Fernando. The shield won't be very useful here, but now Rovanic is in a bit of trouble. They don't spot him out, Nick. 139 health. There's Wardoom to come save the day. Grapple actually is going to find himself still fighting in the back line, but Prince Danny TV now is the focus of Wardoom. El Zulu is going to come through at the very end to save the day as well. This payload will keep pushing for now.
3 ultimates ready to go. Dragon Punch, Hexafire, Heat Haze, but only 9 seconds left, so these players, they're not really wanting to try and drop these too much. AGG in a rough spot here because they have a long way to go. They got to win another fight or two to get this one converted. Mako is already sitting at half HP, going all in on that kill. The Fernando's going to fall as well, and AGG don't find the conversion here as the overtime does expire, but they hang on to their ultimates wisely here, just trying to go for, you know, it's all a formality at that point, basically.
It's such a difficult thing to be down 3-1 because they did all that. They spent 5 minutes capturing that objective, fighting their hearts out, pushing it 75% of the way, and now they just got 1 point. It's 3-2 again. They've got to get 2 more points in this game to be able to win. That's why the 3-1 advantage is so strong. The 2-0 advantage, that start is so powerful. It is now potentially, again, Astral Authority's not only game point, but match point here, set point here. And they're going to have to look forward, Nick, to really take advantage of this moment.
And El Zulu wising up, picking up the resilience as well, so even harder for Wardoom. Hopefully he recognizes this and doesn't try to hyper beam this Makoa off the map. The Rejuvenate as well to try and fight through some of the cauterizes, and only cauterize 3 on bodies, so he's going to be trying to spread that debuff around as much as he can. Missed hook here. This is a good opportunity for AGG.
There's a Shell Spin, and now he is in trouble. Shell Spin is out. Shell Shield is down as well. Ancient Rage, though, they baited that, and it looks like Torvald and the squad of Astral Authority are just going to back off. He's going to get a nice pick, though. Will he get the kill? One more swing, and he will. Prince Danny TV gets double kills in the back line. Doseps and Vex go down, and look at this. Prince Danny TV and AGG continue to impress with the resilience, pun intended, they have shown in this team fight. 51% for Astral Authority, and now AGG finally climbing above that with 58.
They're starting to push out, and all of Astral Authority is here, so a good take back could spell the difference here. Hyper Beam's here to clear out the hallway. Doesn't get any kills for it, but does guarantee his team entrance back in. Consistent damage on the Cuskewed. He's going to take him out. 3 members backed up into the mine shaft right now, but they're going to have the DPS, it looks like. A repulsor field doesn't even go off.
Grapple gets the kill onto Wardoom. Vex 30 there just by himself, and AGG clean it up and do 2 very good fights in a row, 2 great zones, and find themselves tied with a chance to win against Astral Authority and tie the setup, push it to a game 5 in this best of 5. They're playing at another level here, and now that El Zulu has a resilience, Nick, there's no more kind of hokey trick that can happen with the Torvald off the map. This is starting to look dangerous for Astral Authority.
So much of Astral Authority's team fight was hinging on the Hyper Beam finding value, and it hasn't. It's missed the mark the last 2 or 3 times. Rovnik just going to back off wisely right now, regrouping with his team. Bubble Boy is in a rough spot. He's going to go down. Minute 50 remaining here. Dosev's putting a lot of damage there, but gets punished by this Bomb King. And it doesn't, you barely even notice that you've been stuck 3 times by Bomb King. That's the main thing that's been happening to Dosev's, especially at long range. When Bomb King's not in your face, it's almost difficult sometimes to get the read that you're being stuck.
And as the Shell Shield goes down from Makoa by the Cuskewed pressure, which has been, again, so prevalent in these holds and defenses for Astral Authority. You mentioned a great point, Nick. You know, Shaolin, we talk about how strong Planted is, but it's often that we don't see those champions like Bomb King pick up against him that could really take advantage of him standing still. I mean, standing still on a shooter is a very dangerous thing to do. Bomb King, one of the champions that can punish that the hardest with those multiple bombs sticking and just ending his spree.
Pulling forward now, Prince Danny. Trying to find something, but 2 kills for 1. Astral Authority definitely going to come out on top of that trade as the respawn proximity is pretty much always in their favor on Ice Mines. At this stage of the game, the payload is pushed about 60% of the way with 50 seconds left on the clock. So AGG at this point, they can't afford to win 1 more team fight, but if right now, I'm scared if I'm Astral Authority, not because I have the potential to be converted on and have this game close out, but because I haven't even come close to winning a team fight around the point since rounds 1 or 2.
And now that it is continuing to snowball, and Prince Danny TV's on a 13 streak, feeling himself, there seems to be no answer. Cuskewed getting picked off by El Zulu. We got to point out the great hooks coming out from Makoa, the frontline champion on the side of AGG that has really been setting up a lot of these kills. You know, we often talk about the damage dealers, Nick, but really all of that can happen so much easier when you have a guy like El Zulu consistently setting it up for you.
10 seconds on the clock here and just fading out now. Astral Authority have successfully defended this one. No one from AGG will be able to reach the payload in time. Just trying to, I would back off right now from El Zulu because you just gave him his ultimate. He was about 10 or 12% off of that, and just letting him get those couple of poke shots off gave him Ancient Rage, and that could mean the difference here. He could pop that to keep himself on the map, to keep himself alive in the backline. He has so many more aggressive options that he can take now. Just a small little thing. Obviously, the players from Astral Authority don't know how close Ancient Rage is to being charged, but you know, you don't want to do those types of things. You don't want to just give them free ult charge, give them free credits, free poke, any of that stuff.
You see, Nick, the items coming through. 1 resilience ride drop body is going to reduce 30% of the crowd control duration of Grumpy Bomb, and he's going to be knocked back 30% less from Prince Danny TV's disengage, which has definitely been getting him off the point up into the air. So decides to not have that be relevant this fight. But again, what will be relevant? What will happen? It all comes down to this for Astral Authority. For AGG, for sure. But Astral Authority looking to get things started with a Dragon Punch. Want to find a kill, bait something out. Nothing is found for that one. Cuskewed stays alive. Here's the King Bomb after the Hyper Beam. They're going to finish eye drop bodies. It's only a matter of time, it looks like, before Wardoom falls. But the pressure is now on Rovnik, and he's trying to get out and stay alive.
12% on the point. Astral Authority. They trade out for the Immortal in that situation here. Hyper Beam has been used as well, and Rovnik able to box out. Late game DPS just isn't there for Wardoom. El Zulu picks up Cuskewed as well. 50% and climbing on the point for AGG, 24% on the take back. but Astral Authority are being zoned.
Rovnik stays alive after that. So important. I drop bodies now, going aggressive, and fighting in this hallway could be an advantage for them. Gets onto the point so quickly, and there's a Dread Serpent. I don't mind that. El Zulu again with a huge hook, but a great bubble in response by Wardoom, and now Cuscutie's in this fight with safety. If they can pull El Zulu out of it, they could have a chance. Rovnik takes high drop bodies, but he misses the hook, and that is what has got Cuscutie out of these fights. Will things change now that the Dragon is in the air consistently? That hook could come back to haunt the entire team. Prince Danny TV takes down Dosas, but again, Cuscutie is still alive, and he is on a rampage. 290 health. Grapple is still here. Wardoom turn around, but he has not been able to. Cuscutie gets the kill, and again, this Dragon has been the issue when he's not in this fight. Astral Authority have lost, and now Rovnik here to finish him off, but Vex 30 finishes off the king.
Back in action is Prince Danny here. 3. There's the Hyper Moon zone. Everyone off. The overtime is going to be reset, though the resilience buy was good enough, but Dosips take him down. Grapple is now back. Back and forth. This team fight continues to rage on.
This is ridiculous. Overtime still ticking away. Bob King trying to make his way back to the point, but Prince Danny TV all the while is free firing. The Hyper Beam doesn't matter, but the Dragon Punch, it certainly will. Is it going to find anyone? It doesn't. The Immortal comes out from Fernando. He's actually down. That didn't happen, excuse me. But you know what did happen? Wardoom picks up the kill, and he's actually going to fall to Grapple and Bubble Boy in response. Overtime still here.
But it's AGG that come out on top of that bloodbath brawl back and forth. I don't even know what just happened. That was like 3 or 4 waves of full respawns that just came to the slaughter, and somehow AGG find themselves on top.
It became
such
a mess, and I think, you know, when you looked at it, I mean, we were even looking at how are they surviving these? You look at Dragon Punch coming through, you assume the Immortal goes off to save them, but it's at 73%. Cuscutie just missed. He missed twice.
That's a big one.
I mean, that's not normal of Cuss, but you also look at what was the big decider there, Cuss, because when El Zulu got the hook onto him, fights were over. But when he stayed alive, that's what draw that overtime. That's what made that so tight.
I'm like 95% sure that he went for Rovnik, because Rovnik was the healthiest target that had just come in. But the Poppy Bomb build, you saw how much distance Rovnik was clearing with that. That is more than enough to get you out of range of the Dragon Punch. So that's likely what happened. We didn't get to see it exactly there because we were just caught up in all of the chaos. You know, Cuscutie still finding 144,000 damage. Dosip still finding 133,000 and 117 for bodies, but it just wasn't enough in the end.
Prince Danny TV too with a great roll in at the end with Fernando Grapple coming in. They bursted down. It was Vex, and I believe it was Dosips as well. They bursted them down to about 30% health with those shots, the fireball and the blast shot coming out from Cassie, and it just changed the dynamic of the fight. That is definitely one for the ages. Fish Market is going to set up the final map for this series, a best of 5 between these two teams. The formerly match point with Cuscutie, Dosips, and Wardoom transferred over to Astral Authority with Vex, and looking to finish off AGG here on Fish Market. It's pretty incredible.
That was almost a 24-minute game. That's like one of the longest games Paladins I've ever seen. Well, that was crazy.
Ice Minds, it tends to do it.
It'll do that. It'll do it to you.
Gives us the best games that we can get. It's a lot of fun. It's tight. I know the teams don't necessarily like it, but it's rare you see a 2-0 push come back to be a 3-3 tie at the end.
Crazy way, fighting their way back 1 point at a time. AGG. Drogos Damba, will it continue to be the trend here for these two teams? And it lost. Drogos Damba lost again.
Yeah, they did. I mean, I don't know. I think your frontliner is now just being, because Torvald is in there, it's being a little bit more countered. Like, your damage is a little safer. You can work around your damage more. I think now picking Torvald early,
Damba, Fernando,
it leaves some counter opportunities open here. Damba, Fernando is open. Astral Authority have done well with Torvald. And so they take the Eevee here. Cuscutie had a great game on him again.
But again, that's so early to me. I feel like, AGG haven't picked it. It's been available every game except when Astral Authority have picked it, and you pick it third? I don't know if I agree with that.
I think
that's a little early for me.
To me, this says, well, I feel like I didn't have my rhythm. I feel like I was playing Drogos all right, but I didn't hit the big moments that I wanted. I'd rather play Eevee. To me, that's honestly what that says. Because Drogos was available as well. I mean, he was their first pick last game. Why would you not pick him up again? I feel like they have the counter now. Makoa was wrecking him. He's just like, I feel like Cuz is just saying, I'd rather play Eevee right now. And we did better with Eevee. The lineups that we're going with work well with Eevee to take attention off of our frontliners. Grows is more of a liability for us. And Maeve, certainly coming into the last game here, will mix things up and create some room for them to stop looking at the front line. I tell you that.
Is this a pocket pick right now? Was this Astral Authority saving this for a rainy day? The Bomb King is the final pick for AGG.
Rainy day? Rain day? Rain day?
Close
I don't know.
enough.
We'll
Close,
see.
but no cigar. Only
It's
counts in
close.
horseshoes and hand grenades.
Oh man, that's old school, man.
And they
I
don't
like that
pick.
one.
They don't pick the tour ball either. I mean, it's not bad on Fish Market, and it's really good with Maeve.
It is, it is. And I'm excited to see Doseps play this as well. You know, he goes from the Shaolin. We're seeing Walk It Off 4 and Street Cred 4 getting picked up here, where we've seen a lot of different things. Shred 4 has been something very common with us. We see Savagery as well, healing off of Pounce, not going for any heals off of Pounce, in fact. And he's just going to take it all when he's actually out of combat or getting to his next target when he's using that movement skill Prowl.
And this is a team that I think is pretty susceptible to this flank pressure from Cuss and from Doseps. You know, Cassie and Shaolin in the backline are going to be struggling to deal with this. And Maeve Shaolin, you know, obviously assuming that Shaolin just doesn't impale planted your face off, it's a good matchup for Maeve. She stays above him. You know, just double jumping above somebody's head is very difficult, especially for a Shaolin where every shot counts for so much. Every shot buys you so much more time to stay alive if you're Doseps.
This is tough for Rovnik here as well. Rovnik, though, with the Bomb King matchup, can be very, very strong against Maeve. She wants to fight close. She wants to jump up and double jump in the air. Bomb King's bombs, they're going to be able to just explode
low targets
right there. But this is just looking like a feast for Doseps.
No,
so you're going to be able to hit it. Dashes into the bomb, gets blown up by Bubble Boy, and the help from Fernando on the side. He is so low over there, but they don't want to aggress. They've got the point. They've got 60%. Astral Authority looking in command yet again in the early part of these games.
I mean, that was such a crazy, you know, you put yourselves in the situation to call the communications there, where it looked, Prince Danny sees Doseps running away, but immediate 180, and that fight just turns around. It's so much different. Doseps, he's calling for him to be out of the fight, and all of a sudden he's back in it. Finds some kills here. Prince Danny in the squad able to fight their way back, though. 90% for Astral Authority. A small window is all they need to take this payload away.
And shutting Maeve down for just a moment is the counter to her. Can you do it? That Grumpy Bomb is going to be so important. The King Bombs as well. Rovnik's made a big impact on his Bomb King. Will he continue to do so? 63%, but AGG look to maybe pull back and focus on the Maeve here. Grapple finishes off Doseps. Shaolin gets the better of that trade now. Grumpy Bomb going in and just giving him a little bit of space, and he stuns too. He ends up taking down the shield of eye drop bodies. Will he end up finishing it? No, bodies with the DPS to do it,
So
but
much
Bubble
mitigation.
Boy here is going to finish off bodies in return. Will Wardoom get the kill on the grapple, though? He goes withdrawn, and he's stealth, and he stays alive.
Dimensional Link all the way out and back in. Wardoom falls down at the end, but Doseps picks up grapple. Doseps with a double kill. Giant Bubble Boy going down.
Look at that
93%. There's the Grumpy Bomb onto the point here. Overtime has been ticking through. Everyone needs to find their way out, and getting stunned out has been such a big downfall of bodies in this game. Midnight is popped in, so none of the AGG reinforcements are going to be able to know where they're going.
Absolutely huge, and that means Astral Authority will get this capture objective. That was clutch. That is what Maeve brings to the table. You talk about damage, you talk about being able to go to the back line and finish off targets, but Midnight, so imperative. They do have the Cassie for AGG though, Nick, but she falls shortly thereafter, and she is not going to be able to impact the vision for them right now.
Look at that burst, following up off the Makoa hook. That's over 2,000 burst damage with that combination there. 2 knives from Maeve is 900, 600 off the Pounce, 1,100 after the hook. And here's the 1v1. Just dodges the plan and uses the Prowl to rotate back into the fight. 4 seconds on Prowl, but she eats a shot after the withdrawal stealth, so just gonna have to use that to reposition, but doesn't have the time.
You know, Rovnik and Bomb King, they're great at dealing with low health targets because their damage hits so hard, and they can confirm it in either long distance, short distance, and be able to have an area, in the case of Bomb King, that he can just control, exploding them right in front of him. If he gets to your face, the mobility he's built in with this Jolt card and his Poppy Bomb accelerant, it's going to make a big difference, and it has already. He's in midair, but that is going to spawn the Ancient Rage from Makoa, and now the push is successful.
Wow.
But this is the same story we saw in Ice Mines.
No Grumpy Bomb there to to zone out or do anything there. The Grumpy Bomb cooldown was sitting ready to go. It didn't throw it out whatsoever. The Ancient Rage was big, though. That was a nice bait from Wardoom. He had 2 or 3 people on him and just was able to heal himself up to full with the Ancient Rage. Dosup's going for the kill to heal, too, so this allows him to snowball in the backline, and I love this pickup, and I'm going to tell you why. Prince Danny, Wrecker, Rovnik, Wrecker, Grapple, Wrecker. None of them have Cauterize to shut this down. Bubble Boy is the only one that can even stem the tide of sustain coming out from this Maeve right now, and that is so huge. So much of what Maeve wants to do is go all in on you and use her sustain to guarantee her getting a kill, and no Cauterizes to shut this down is going to be a big problem, especially with kill to heal. Kill to heal is going to destroy AGG in this situation.
Will Dosups be able to find the rhythm, though? This is a little bit less, I think, a dominant performance as we saw yesterday in EU with Spunky, but Dosups, he's ready to turn on the switch at any moment. You cannot count him out, and already he's just distracting them. They cannot turn their back around. Otherwise, they're going to take 2 knives into it. That's what Maeve brings to the table. The burst is here. Misses the dash, unfortunately. Has to reactivate 9 lives. 18-second cooldown for him. He's going to double jump, try to find Prince Danny TV. Hits 2 knives. That's huge, but misses the dash again. Unlike Spunky yesterday, you know, we're seeing Dosups kind of miss some of these clutch plays that makes Maeve so dangerous when pulled off.
That's 100% just on Dosups. You cannot miss Pounce. It's not even that hard to hit. It's got a big hitbox coming in, and you know, it's not even like Prince Danny's hitting these reactionary dodge rolls or anything. Those were just raw misses, and AGG just find the payload off the back of that. So much is going to rely. You know, they've all picked up record. They've all committed to just dismantling this double front line from Astro Authority. It's on Dosups. He has to use this kill. He has to snowball in the backline. He has to wipe them all and get them off of the frontliners.
I mean, then you're not even talking about that. You're talking about 600 credits that could be better spent somewhere else. That now, actually 900 credits that he's got to better spend somewhere else that he's not getting any advantage of. He gets no kills. It's not going to happen. And so he's not found his rhythm quite yet. But AGG certainly have. 1:52 seconds left here. Rovnik up in the air, poppy bombing his man Makoa away. And finally, Dosups gets a kill. He's going to be healthy. Looking for his next target here in the back with Bubble Boy, trying to search him out.
Prince Danny and Bubble Boy staying close together. Midnight is ready to go. 1 knife will connect there, but everyone doing a good job staying clumped up together, not making it super easy for Dosups to get in there and try and find these pickoffs. Will he pop the Midnight here? AGG are far enough away from the payload, I don't think, where it's not completely necessary.
Rovnik made him run away. Dosups does not look to like this Bomb King matchup. Rovnik just playing at a high level here, and Dosups again elects to run away. And I don't mind this. Sometimes
well, it's like a 1v4.
You know, exactly. Yeah, I mean, look there, Dosups finally.
He's going to take that 10 times out of 10.
Finally picks up the kill, gets up into the air. It's so hard for Bomb King to reactionarily deal with that damage. And now 1,300 health. He's still got room to go. Prowl is going to help him heal up here, but he's going to actually jump out of Prowl whenever he does an action.
Needs that kill.
He gets a kill, but he dies immediately.
Need a lot of health to survive. Even 1 shot from Bomb King. 900 coming through there. That kill to heal 2 is just not going to be enough. An aggressive poppy bomb, but finding the shots over the top. Bubble Boy combining. That's damage you can't scoff at either. Ying hits for about 700 every time she connects with all 5 ticks of her laser beam, and AGG, once again, they get this payload push off the ground.
You know, shouts out to Bubble Boy here for keeping it real with Ying, because, you know, sometimes you sleep on the damage that she can do, and the fact that he's able to continuously support Rovnik, who's jumping in, getting Ruckus to look up into the air, and then not pay attention to the consistent, silent but deadly damage coming out from the support, and again staying on the objective, keeping his teammates healthy. The Midnight actually gets activated by Dosups, and this is time for him to go in. Activates the Prowl, looks for 1, 2 knives into Prince Danny TV, but he's going to back away. Planet comes out from Shaolin. He's baited a lot of stuff, but he's had to use his cooldowns as well. So now he's in a very bad spot to be able to affect this fight.
Everything there. El Zulu around the corner though, able to be taken out. A nice dash, nice angle with that pounce. And you know, we're talking a lot about Dosups, but Cuskitty's been pretty quiet on this EV as well. Here comes the snowball though with the kill to heal. The damage is not enough though. Bubble Boy taken out. The 1v1. That's it. This is the round right now. Cuskitty versus Grapple on this Shaolin. Just buying the time there. Finds a shot in the end regardless. Astro Authority come away with the defense here. Now up 3-1 because of their 2-0 conversion in the first round.
That was a nice shot, man. That was very, very strong. Astro Authority put in the driver's seat here, and AGG find themselves in a similar position. This is exactly how Ice Mines played out but Astral Authority looking, I think, a little bit more confident, and there's a lot less room. There's a little bit more room for error here. There's a couple more flank routes to get in. They've got Maeve, who's not going to get
They
really
have
zoned
another
out
plan
very
except
well.
Hyper Beam.
Exactly, and despite not having Torvald on their squad, this could be the end.
So leading the damage right now. Cutie at about 36k there. That's where the flankers bring in, but Makoa actually staying ahead of her for the time being. Everyone pretty close, pretty tight in the pack, except Grapple on this Shaolin. And he just hasn't been feeling as much heat. Cutie and Dosip should be shredding this backline right now. Both of them have been relatively quiet. No huge plays coming out of either flanker.
Cutie doing a great job getting into the back line, doing a lot of damage. They still don't know where he is. He's going to soar up to the top, and now he's going to put pressure onto Cassie. Nice! Ice Storm is going to make sure that they can't move anywhere. Almost hits one shot, but Prince Danny TV actually able to get out of it and wins the 1v1 and takes an ultimate from Cutie in the process. AGG are continually winning these initial point fights, and it is just because of outplays on their side.
Pounce in on nothing once again. Pops the 9 lives to get out, and just nothing. These full kit rotations are coming out from Dosips, and he's getting nothing for it. He gets beaten the 1v1 by Prince Danny as well.
I mean, nothing against Prince Danny TV, though. I mean, he's playing lights out. He's dealt with an Ice Storm from Eevee. He dealt with a full, on attack from her, and Cutie's playing well. Dosips comes in and gets taken down as well.
Maeve is designed to kill Cassie, though. She's designed to win these 1v1s with the squishier characters in the backline. So much effective sustain in her kit. Prince Danny doesn't have a cauterize. All he's got is the blast shot healing reduction. That it's not. He shouldn't be winning these 1v1s in the backline.
And maybe this is part of the deck that he's running, because he's getting his healing, he's getting his sustain, not in these fights. I mean, an extra 500 health, 600 health almost by taking Prowl Savagery 4 is a big difference in a fight with a Cassie. That's basically one shot that you can survive, and that, gives you a second to throw some more knives or do anything. Pounce, get away. He's running it all on the sustain. The second he starts firing knives from Prowl, that healing stops. So effectively, he's not as sustaining in these 1v1s as most of the Yings we've seen. The Maves we've seen.
Spotting out the Rovnik rotation around the back here, going for the big flank, but gets midnighted out, just immediately reconnects with the team. Master Riding 2, just going on the Tour de France, the Tour de Fishing Village here.
Tour de Bomb King.
Rovnik not finding anything with that rotation, though. Gets back to his team safely, however, so nothing gained, nothing lost.
Bomb King ultimate still available. He's really focusing high drop bodies. Rovnik doing a great job of just target selection. Almost feels like Dosip's kind of trying to find who's available, maybe not having exactly the plan in mind going the way that I think Rovnik is really sticking to his ideals here. He's a man that's hanging with his faith. He's all about killing Ruckus, and he is doing that at a great job. He sees Cutie, though, and that Eevee is a bit of a delectable treat he just can't pass up. But now the zone continues to happen, looking to get a little bit of action on this payload push.
King Bomb is ready to go here. Prince Danny and Rovnik will just
elect to back off for the time being. The payload now coming up on about halfway through. The zone is holding strong, though, and Maldamba not able to land that stun, but Grapple is finding his way dead anyway.
Rovnik showcasing his Bomb King skills, actually hits the flag there. Probably not what he intended to do. He's going to Poppy Bomb away, get some Ying clone healing thanks to Bubble Boy there, but Warjun will pick him up. Finally a hook onto the Bomb King, and they're going to get him down. This could spell a snowball. This kill to heal now is going to be hopefully impactful for him. 982 health. One shot from Shaolin could be very dangerous here. He's going to get the pounce, but doesn't get any healing off of it. He gets the 600 back from Kill to Heal 2. And the defense is successful.
We gotta see something change from Astro Authority here. The Maeve and the Eevee are not getting done on their own, so maybe we see just Wardoom landing hooks, and then Maeve just waiting to follow up whoever gets hooked. That's so much burst damage. It's a free kill. Something's got to change here, because Astro Authority is not hitting the mark on these last 2-point fights.
They haven't found a rhythm, and they just haven't found their target. I mean, you see Rovnik, the reason I brought him up is he's got such a clear game plan. He just kills Ruckus, and he focuses down the tank shields, he Poppy Bombs, and if he sees Cutie or he sees Maeve, he finishes him off with one bomb. 900 changes that entire fight. Dosips and Cutie need to have that same type of mentality here, running out with them, knowing this could be game point, this could be set point. Otherwise, they let AGG with a chance to win here. They need to adjust their strategy. And who do they go for?
Anyone. Bomb King. You can burst down Cassie, you can burst down Bomb King, you can burst down Ying, you can burst down Shaolin. Anyone off the back of a hook
with the Mave follow-up. Even an Eevee throwing a shot in there wouldn't hurt.
He's almost dead. Over in the corner, he is dead. Bubble Boy takes down Doseps. I don't know why you dash into that. Why would you get off your mount and use your cooldowns, force your 9 lives early? It just didn't seem like the most optimal play. Obviously, he's seeing something we're not. Maybe just prioritize getting there as fast as possible. Wardoom now in a bit of an issue. He does take down Grapple, but the Shaolin is just proving to be too strong, as well as the Bomb King, and Doseps activating cooldowns like Prowl very, very early and using them, not having them in these fights.
69% already for AGG. Here's another 1v1. Off to the side here, King Bomb coming in. Midnight is trying to shut down. Doesn't find anyone with the King Bomb, but Bubble Boy takes down Drop Bodies before losing his vision. And Dosep still running around looking for something, looking for anything in the back line here. 93%, and AGG total control of this point.
93% now going for AGG. Doseps is still alive, trying to make a difference. Cuss Cutie as well. Could they snowball this? It'll be a lot to do. They can definitely stall this payload push and give iDrop Bodies a chance. One big shot here could help take down the Fernando. Zulu still alive. They missed the shot off of Soar, and overtime looks to tick away. The healing's gonna certainly make a big impact now, and it does not give Wardoom the chance to swing that fight again. Fernando's down. It's Cassie and Ying with a Makoa coming back and an Eevee. They win that fight. That changes the game right there.
And again, the flankers from Astro Authority not finding any kills. Both of them falling down relatively early in these fights. Doseps isn't getting a lot of value out of his pounce, out of his prowls, out of his 9 lives. It's just like it's almost that frustration popping these things, and then he's just running around, not getting it done.
And Nick, you know, you say he's got to go to anybody, but you know, sometimes it's not that simple, right? I mean, there's a lot of things these players are thinking about.
Run distraction, get anyone off of your frontliners at this point.
That's the thing too. It's almost like they're not even paying attention to him. They're not paying attention to him until it becomes like, okay, we can kill you now, or like Prince Danny TV takes 2 shots and he's like, all right, I'm getting hit by Mave now. All right, let me go ahead and win this 1v1. They're not like they're not worried. They're not running around turning their heads. They're not playing a reason to be worried. Exactly. And that is the issue. Mave, you're right, running distraction, but that distraction isn't really relevant here. This could be the game, Nick. This Grumpy Bomb's gonna zone, it's gonna stun out, and the killing spree is there for Rovenick. He could snowball this fight for them. AGG have so close to go in order to be the victors here, but Doseps with a great shot in midair is gonna secure this. They gotta get down Prince Danny TV, but no, El Zulu finishes off the kill. This is gonna be Team AGG getting the final push, the victory, and the set, moving on to the finals over Astral Authority.
Just nothing there from Mave or Eevee. I feel like just lackluster performances from the flankers. I mean, I can't wait to see Bomb King's damage. Bomb King was just bodying. In the first round, we saw a little bit of it. He was commanding attention, right? He was getting the frontliners, getting the Cassie, getting the Shaolin to pay attention to the Mave in the back line, but then, you know, no kills came. Next round, same thing. Didn't kill anyone, so they were just like, all right, we'll just ignore him and we'll kill his frontliners here. 103,000 damage for Prince Danny, 78,000 for the Bomb King, and 99,000 damage for Shaolin.
You know, we've given these guys so much praise throughout their careers here at the esports scene. I think it's safe to say this was not their brightest day. And AGG, however, you know, it's been a long time coming for them to have kind of their moment in the sun in the finals. Prince Danny TV played absolutely phenomenally. You know, and I think we have to talk about how he was winning these 1v1s against Mave. Probably a matchup he shouldn't have won. And despite how maybe Doseps wasn't feeling himself.
New character, I mean,
yeah, that's the risk you take.
It's a new character versus a comfort pick.
But, you know, Danny showed up. Danny showed up. And I do want to give a shout to him. He had 100,000 damage. I mean, he knocked it out of the park. And Rovenick as well. But I really am appreciative of the way El Zulu can go from, you know, having an impact play here on the Makoa and then going on to the Fernando, still having a big impact, staying alive in that last point fight to make sure the Ying and the Cassie had support. You know, I mean, there's just so many people on AGG that I think really perform well, and I'm really excited for them to be playing against who they face in the finals, man.
Absolutely, and hopefully they were running their boosters, because those games are going to be worth a lot of XP, those 23, 24-minute games.
Baby.
Snag them while they're hot, 25% off of those. Get your gold stockpile going for Season 1. All of that stuff is going to be very, very important into the coming weeks.
Exciting stuff here on the Paladins esports scene. We're ready to wrap this side. We got the other side of the bracket we'll take care of, and we also have the finals coming up after that. AGG make it in this side. Who's going to make it in on the other side? Wait and see. Be right back. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Paladins Open Bracket Qualifiers. My name is Rain Day. This is High Res Pretty Hair. It's time to get things going. We've got another semifinal coming up for you all watching, and it's going to be an exciting one. Eager versus Divine Esports.
Divine Esports.
Divine. They must be
First time in
heavenly
the
here.
semis.
And it's Sunday. Ooh. The energy might be with them.
I'm excited to see the new Eager roster play for the first time here. They've been practicing. They've been playing their bot games. I heard they can win the PvE mode almost every time now.
I heard that too. In fact, if you want to be just like Eager, you might want to play Los Pollos Fernandos. The PvE challenge that is new in the realm. We've been putting these out to give you a chance to play some interesting and very challenging
This one's
matches
hard. This
against
one's a
bots.
lot harder than the other one.
And
It's 4 Fernandos that have 3,000 damage fireballs. They just one-shot you, and then they have a little pip to heal them up.
And it's not for nothing. I mean, you were able to get 50 crystals off of that, so make sure you play that and check that out in the realm today. We're ready for the maps for game 1, though. But before we even talk about maps, Nick, Stone Keep will be where we played. Frozen Garden, Timber Mill, banned out. You know, a lot of people looking at these teams here can look at the path of Eager and Divine Esports, maybe saying, hey, they got a little bit of an easier road here.
Yeah, it just comes off the back of the soft seeding now. Some of the better teams are split up this time. We're ready to get into the champion draft here for game number 1. We'll see if Divine Esports deserve their spot. Did they earn their spot here in the semifinals? See what they can do against Eager. First pick, Makoa.
First pick, Makoa as well. Eager not being a highly, contended team last weekend, getting out of the matchup
against a great team,
round
albeit
of 16. Unfortunately, last week. Now come here and they're seated against the #1 team who won last weekend. Actually beat them. So in many ways, the Eager themselves had maybe the toughest route here, according to last week's power rankings, and they're able to come through. So maybe something has shifted here for Eager, for Bitey, for Stolzy, a name we haven't said in quite a while, but he's back with this new team. It'll be interesting to see their synergy, and I'm also really interested to see, is Stolzy gonna just hold W with Maeve?
Where do these guys go? What do they play? We haven't seen them in some time. Where does Stolzy fit into the over? Does he fill in Z1 shoes? He doesn't typically play Eevee. That was a big proponent, a big part of what Z1 Unknown. Does he play Cassie? He didn't play a lot of Cassie. That was normally Doseups or even Cusscutie that would play that on the match point roster. So a lot of question marks surrounding Stolzy and his role within his new team.
He's not going to get a chance, Nick. Divine Esports clean up Maeve. They also take Ruckus off the board for Team Eager. So now looking at their, obviously, damage flex options here, some teams have gone at this point to go with another healer, to go with another tank, give some extra front line. They're dealing with 2 front lines on the side of Divine Esports. What are they looking to do here as Eager? What would you do?
Is a possibility. Eevee's locked in, but Cassie still being on the table, that's a big one.
Yeah.
I think every team is going to have a Cassie player. It's such a strong all-around pick, but it will be the Torvald. That was a question mark. That's been answered.
So, I really think that the key for Eager taking the Torvald here is the Fernando. I think the Fernando just is null and void on a lot of these maps and a lot of these situations with Torvald. And they've got damage. I mean, Shaolin and Eevee, they can win enough of these fights with just that damage. And Torvald in the backline as well, just providing the pressure. It's going to be nice.
And who does this Maeve go on now? It's a good pick against the Maeve. Bubbling whoever she's looking at. Bitey's going to be playing the Torvald Wi-Fi on Makoa, Ari on Maldamba, Stolzy on Shaolin, and Shady Shades on Eevee.
Totally Not Smurf on Ruckus for Divine Esports. Bubbly Bubbles on Drogos.
Bubble Boy Smurf.
30, I know. Jock's 30. We've seen him before. He is on the Fernando. Its Aspect is on the Ying. And I am Luxana on the Maeve. Very appropriate name for the Maeve. Actually kind of works with the profile picture there. But it's Bitey on that Torvald that I really want to follow along with. This will be interesting to see how he goes.
What's his
on
loadout? That's the question here. Does he go for the protection loadout here? We can follow this Torvald into the fight. Maybe take a quick peek at his loadout. See if he's running that protection style that Match Point have been doing. It's the Wind Dancer.
Wind Dancer.
And the protection cooldown as well. So giving 40% move speed to whoever does receive that bubble shield. Silencing him out. Draining a lot of that shields there, keeping himself topped off as much as he can. Shady Shades, though, opening things up with first blood onto Bubble Blood.
That's a lot.
Bubbly Bubbles.
Bubbly Bubbles. Bubble Boy is getting everything. Bubbles getting the extra pressure and extra love, especially from the damage dealers on the side of Eager. Bitey basically barely staying alive. May doesn't notice him yet. The Gourd from Aldaba is going to heal him up, but Luxana will find the kill after that. Salvo hits down onto the Makoa. He's going to shell spin away, knock up Bubbly Bubbles, and stay that offensive for now. 27% to 21. Pretty even start to this match so far. This point fight's just getting started.
27% here now, trying to keep that going. Shady Shades gets in with the bubble, but he doesn't have a lot that he can get done. Eevee's not super great at busting up the point control right now. Gonna go up, try and take the 1v1 here onto the May, but she's so mobile, she's already gone, just laying down some point fire as well. 70%, something's got to happen.
Nice hook.
And soon, but just advancing back onto the point. Eats the stun, though, and will be taken down. Bitey credited with that kill now. Both of the frontliners. This is the first time I think we've seen double frontliner on both teams.
Yeah, and it's working to create a very sustain-oriented point fight. Both teams now at 75% each. It's a very rare thing to see them both climb by about 30% each objective, and now it looks like it will finally be the zone continuing for Team Eager. They will follow through. Stolzy finds himself on a 4 streak, and Shady Shades on a 6 streak as well. Great follow-up on Wi-Fi's hook. I know that he's an excellent Makoa player, and he's looking to continue the trends there as Shady Shades finds some more damage under the back line with those huge shots from Eevee. Looking to finish off the ruckus if he can. Great hook again by Wi-Fi, and the synergy with him and Shady Shades is unmatched right now.
Ice Storm coming out to keep Fernando and Ying locked in the corner, but there's no follow-up. No follow-up there at all to a great Ice Storm that locked down 2 very crucial parts of Divine Esports. And with the 4v5 scenario, it was very strange that Eager didn't try to press that and get something off of it.
Shady Shades doing a great job, as well as Stolzy, just to bait and stay alive. Goes into planet immediately,
beautiful.
And will get taken down. Its aspect, again, the Ying following up. So important for the healers to contribute in the damage arena when they can. It can often mean the difference between a dead Stolzy or a Stolzy that's in the back line shooting you for damage. There's the Dread Serpent looking to just secure 1 kill on into the ruckus. He's going to get silenced out, and this should do it despite Ying throwing out the ultimate. The Hyper Beam is available. This could mean that Fernando, Ying, and everyone around gets blown off this map if overtime starts to tick away, Nick. But they've got 1 minute and 17 seconds to do this. The Dragon Punch is going to stay that idea for at least a moment.
But goes down immediately there. Bubbly Bubbles gets eliminated with Stolzy there, trying to get the stun off. Gets one more Mending Spear, falling so low, but into the safety of his Gourd. Arai will find himself alive. Wi-Fi is there, and Stolzy finds the last kill of the round onto Luxana to give his team the window they need. Record 2's already online. Shady Shades and Stolzy have picked this up. Wi-Fi has his Cauterize too. Everyone has their ultimate except the Dread Serpent and the Ice Storm that were used in the previous round. No ultimates online for Divine Esports, down 2-0. Not where you want to be against Eager.
So what's the goal here? I mean, how do they change this up? Luxana not really finding the rhythm on the Maeve. Is it just he's getting countered by the Torvald so much?
It's definitely going to be tough to find a pick on anyone, you know. With the double frontliner, it's Stolzy's really the only one that she can go on to and go all in and get a kill, because Maldam is going to be able to just throw a Gourd at his feet and beat Tanky. He's going to be right near the frontliners as well, and Stolzy's going to be getting that protection bubble almost every time. The Hyper Beam here, haven't seen it come out just yet, but straight to the back line. These frontliners are going Stolzy. Is first blood in this round.
Just waiting for the ruckus to be pulled, and they finish that off. Wi-Fi, great kill to isolate the target up on Stone Keep. I love the strategy there by Eager. The Runic Blast not available yet. Can't silence the Maeve out, so she will dash away, and a protection just used to make sure that his Maldaba stays alive. Not using recharge yet, saving that for the Fernando shield, but again, he's not having those personal shields up on his own. Maybe he doesn't need it. 51% ticket for Eager.
Hook into the Runic Blast. The silence here is the combo that Eager, that's their bread and butter right now. Wi-Fi and Bitey. Nah, the Ice Storm is going to be off the mark. Fernando wisely charging out of that one. Even still, I don't know if Shady Shades would have been able to win that 1v1. I mean, Fernando can go to toe-to-toe with most of the flankers and come out on top.
Absolutely. I mean, he can throw the shield back up, and, you know, Eevee, of course, has the ice block, but would the damage really come out fast enough? Either way, it's all conjecture, because Eager are 3-0 up on Stone Keep versus Divine Esports. Looking to handle this pretty well. Stolzy having a solid but quiet game on Shaolin. Just from the back line, pops Heat Haze. Looks for one shot, misses the second. Goes for more. Maeve gets pulled by Wi-Fi.
So much
Follows
burst.
up on that. The burst is absolutely ridiculous on that Makoa hook. And the team is playing synergistic and understanding of each other so that they're able to follow up. It's much more easier said than done.
Look at these frontliners.
But
right
Eager
now.
are doing it, man.
Oh, misstep there from Eager. The Hyper Beam came out at the same time as the hook, and Wi-Fi actually saved Torvald's life. Stolzy, though, getting the double kill as he is now under no pressure. Good night, good morning, Maeve. She dashes just to reposition herself and gets taken out by Stolzy. When he's under no pressure, 4 kills in that engagement for Stolzy. The frontliners are doing the job of the flanks here, getting all the pressure off him. Stolzy free firing is finding value on all of these shots.
I mean,
There's fifth.
Wi-Fi on these hooks, the Dread Serpent is almost overkill. They have just been dominating this point fight, and in the air, in the dragon form, he gets taken down. Shaolin goes into Planet. Stolzy doesn't need it because Bitey comes over to save any attempt Fernando had at addressing onto him with the Runic Blast. That silence so powerful, Eager, so strong, and Divine Esports left without a win. Go down 0-1 in this best-of-5 set against Team Eager.
And it's not like Divine didn't have the tools they needed to break that Torvald Makoa. They had the Drogos, they have the Dragon Punch with no Immortal to counter that. We only saw one come through. The second trying to hang on. Bubbles just shut down mid-flight. 29,000 damage, 22,000 for the Maeve there. And barely beating out there Fernando's damage. Just struggling to do anything in the backline. This Torvald shutting down so much of that Maeve aggression.
And Stolzy again, 63,000 damage, 51,000 for Shady Shades, 0 deaths for the Eevee, which is a very impressive feat there. It just didn't have any way to deal with her. And we're ready for the map screen to move on into the next game. It will be played on Frog Isle, Eager versus Divine Esports. And Divine come out of that not looking too strong, Nick.
No,
not looking too strong there against
They got
Eager.
blasted a little bit. They got blasted. And Frog Isle's, the Torvald pick's only going to be better, especially if Divine are looking to lean on this Maeve in any way, shape, or form. Eager with the first pick again, going into the Makoa. I mean, that was one of the strongest parts of that composition there. Wi-Fi just landing the hooks every single time. And then the follow-up, either silence or just death from Stolzy being there to follow it up. So much combo potential. Eager have shown that they're masterful at pulling off these combos, and it's so effective. You know, Makoa hook, it's been a staple. People have played around it for a while, but just getting back to your roots, that's just, you can make that a guaranteed kill if you really want to, and Eager did almost every time.
Makoa taken for Eager again to start the things off. Divine Esports follow with the Drogos and the Fernando. One more time, Maldamba selected at a very high level, but not at the level that we've seen in previous matches versus AGG and Astral Authority. But this time, Maeve is selected for Team Eager.
This is where you take Torvald if you're Divine. If you can run it, this is where you run it.
Because if not, it's going to leave Eager open to grab it one more time. And there it is, Divine Esports grab Torvald. Not going to let that Fernando get countered one more time.
Shaolin. This is a good draft from Divine, though. It's double frontliners that are susceptible to Wrecker, and they have somehow gotten themselves Drogos and Shaolin, both very effective shield busters.
Now Cassie and Ruckus could come out here for Team Eager to round things out. Wouldn't be a bad lineup for them. You could also, I guess, look at Frog Isle. There's a couple of different damage choices, but again, they will go with the Cassie. Again, these are kind of the characters we're seeing in this meta right now, especially for North America. Pip, though, will round things out for Divine Esports. Pip has not been the champion to signal you're winning this game. That has not been the case, except today, you know, Cuscutie and them, they won on that first map on Jaguar Falls. It just, typically we just see the Pips underperform.
And we only typically talk about Evil Mojo, but he does bring a lot in the way of slows and decent damage as well. That more damage than most of the other supports can bring. Shady Shades will be playing Maeve
Here we go.
this time around, so the Torvald bubbles have to be on point to try and slow this down. A fairly evenly spread Shred too, so cooldown, but he is also running Savagery Chase for just some speed bonus in Prowl, as well as Walk It Off. I'm just not a huge fan of Walk It Off, because how many times do you actually sit in Prowl for the full duration?
I mean, it's not even that much. It lasts for 4 seconds. It's 400. I mean, 400 health is good, but I don't know. I mean, going into the extra Savagery, you have the 9 lives. I don't know. There's a lot of other places to do it. I mean, some people would rather have another second off of Pounce. I don't mind Walk It Off, but I think not having Savagery in your deck is a little odd in terms of that's your
Maybe
main
it's just
combo.
my play
That's your fight.
style. I only ever use Prowl just to try and
reposition. I always use my dash for damage.
Yeah, sometimes the offensive reposition here can keep you in the fight. There's the daggers from Shady Shades. 1850 health. It's not going to save her from Shaolin. She doesn't have Haven, so he will be able to two-shot her very effectively. So you got to be careful. Shady Shades trying to pick his area. And there goes into the Torvald. The shields are very low at this point. Going to dash to reposition. Here's Prowl. Here's Walk It Off coming into play, Nick. Was at 930. But the thing is, with Prowl, you actually lose that bonus once you start activating your knives or your abilities. So 27% for Divine Esports. Shady Shades yet to have a big effect until now when he slays the Pip.
Fernando rolling around. There's just so much control, so much space control for Divine Esports right now. They're not even worried about this. They're not worried about losing the Pip. Arai goes down as well, and Shock's 30 able to escape that alive. It doesn't look like Eager are going to have any chance of coming back in this one. Zoning Fire Spit as well. Shaolin's falling lower and lower. Eager looking to make their move now, but a big salvo puts both of the frontliners at extremely low HP at the start of this team fight.
I am Lucena gets taken down by Shady Shades. Bidey gets a kill onto the Torvald, and Arai now finishing things off on Totally Not Smurf. Divine Esports looking to fall and crumble a little bit here. Nice little man fight there going on between the Bow brothers, except it's a chick on one side. Stolzy repping Cassie, 2100 health, looking to keep all of that in this fight if he can. 81% on the objective for them. Sight fails you. Heat Haze popped by Shaolin.
Nice. Bursting down Shaolin on his way in. Here comes the Evil Mojo, though. One frontliner will fall. The other will still stand. Big Dread Serpent providing a lot of zone control. 99% for Eager. The Torvald goes down, and Divine Esports are about to give this point up as Eager clean them up. That's a big misstep if you're Divine. Eager are coming back into that fight when you're at 99%. Makoa and Ruckus are at basically one shot, and somehow you find a way to lose that fight.
Not going Divine Esports' way again in these games. Team Eager having a little bit of luck on their side, maybe after a bit of not having so much luck last weekend, getting out in the round of 16. Now find themselves potentially one step closer to winning this game, and then one game away from getting to the finals. There's still a lot to do. Divine Esports aren't going to give this one up easy. A minute 55 seconds on the clock for them. They're going to hold the defense now. You're going to regroup, try to reposition, give Shady Shades an option to go to that back line as soon as he can.
Just popping in, popping back out. Is Bitey trying to find some pokes, soften up some targets, maybe for Shady Shades to get in near midnight. Be a good opportunity for this to come out and try and break this defense. A lot of burst damage, but the Torvald bubble just negates a lot of it.
Great setup too by Wi-Fi. He and his teammates are just so in sync with these pulls. There's a silence, and that Runic Blast will be effective for me, but not when Wi-Fi is going to hook you out of any follow-up damage. Torvald, obviously pretty decent counter to Maeve, but Wi-Fi with the hook from Makoa, pretty decent counter to almost everything.
Stolzy's there to clean it up. Minute remaining on this payload push as we round the final corner. Hyper Beam is a big factor here, though, as Eager come down the line out of stealth. Doesn't matter. Wi-Fi will find you. You cannot hide from him. There's another nice hook onto Drogos. Has yet to miss a hook, it feels like. And the Hyper Beam, the Torvald goes down as well, so no Hyper Beam to try and save this. Immortal is the only thing, and it doesn't come out. 2-0 for Eager.
Dude! Where's my life?
Dude.
That's what they're saying on the enemy team. Dude, it's the sequel. It's the sequel, guys. If you saw the first movie, it's one of my favorites. I am looking at, again, Divine Esports finding a rhythm in this game. They had a moment, Nick, where they were 99%.
They shouldn't have lost that payload.
And that's demoralizing. And so now, given that, they've kind of given Team Eager what they needed to get back into the snowball zone. Will, with items, they be able to kind of change the dynamic?
They're looking to snowball. You see these rejuvenates coming out. This is it's not a good late game item. This is a very good early game item. It's a great way to spend your 300 credits that you have as a flat lead to try and counter these cauterized ones, because these rejuvenate 2s on Stolzy, it's 10% per level, so they're basically nullifying these cauterizes by and large, because Maldama pumps out so much healing. It's an Evil Mojo around the corner, and it doesn't come through. Big whiff there. Overextends, punished as well here. So now Eager in a great spot to take this fight.
This is the Pip problem. You have to do it perfectly, and so oftentimes you miss that one shot, and that's what you're hinging on. Torvald's going to try the Runic Blast, but it will only delay the inevitable. Him going down to the onslaught of teammates from Team Eager.
Why that early, though? Just let them come on to the point and then do it. You don't have to go for this long-range cross-map evil mojo that only you can follow. None of those teams. Look at your team. No one can keep up with you if you're a Pip. Shaolin, Drogo, Torvald, Fernando, no one can keep up with you to follow up on that evil mojo. That's all on him. If he was trying to go for that play by himself, Wi-Fi, I'll see you later, was nice. But Eager already getting the payload captured.
But Wi-Fi did so much in that fight, Nick. Able to clean up a lot of kills, set up a lot of kills as well, as he's been doing consistently. Solzy trying to roll back. Didn't press W this time, and unfortunately falls as a result. Should have rolled forward, dude. That's your thing. And of course, the gourd comes down. Arai looking to find a long-range stun and hit the Mending Spirits onto his targets. 3-0 for Team Eager now. Divine Esports, again, not in the driver's seat. Had a couple of misplays here. They just don't seem to have synergy the way Eager does. They're not following up on the kills, Nick. They're not following up on the damage. This could be game unless they change things right now.
Wi-Fi falling lower and lower here. The recharge comes out, doesn't even go to absorb the shell shield, and he knows there's a Mave buzzing around in the back line.
Nice bubble, though.
Trying to keep his teammate alive. 2 kills, though, going the way of Eager. Fernando's all by himself on the low ground here. He's going to fall down as well. Stolzy picking up kills left, right, and center. Torvald falls down, and just nothing. They're just dismantled right now. Not fighting as a unit are Divine Esports.
Frog Isle so open as well, because they have just the ability to run away from him in any direction. It's not like Jaguar Falls where you can get in there and there's maybe only a couple places you can dodge from. So you got to take a staircase, you got to jump up. They really have so much open space here, and Torvald is just being absolutely wrecked. That ultimate is not even going to find 1 kill. Chalks 30 might be able to get credit for that one. I don't know if Torvald actually sent him off the map and he just got the damage over time, but Torvald just hasn't worked for them.
The record 2 here for Shady Shades, allowing him to just poke down that Fernando shield a little bit. 16 streak for Arai in the backline here on this Maldom. But the planet, though, isn't enough. Doesn't find the mark there. Totally not Smurf goes down to Wi-Fi's Makoa. And with Wi-Fi not missing hooks like this, your team fight is on a timer, because Eager get a kill every time they land a hook. And, you know, as this comes off cooldown, that's another member of your team falling. They got to get something going here. This Torvald eating headshots like a boss, but Grandpa falls eventually there. There's the Dread Serpent as well, the counter, the aggression, Hexafire. Everything is being laid on the line for Eager right now. Ancient Rage was there, should they need it, but they are just blasting through another 4-0 victory for Team Eager. Beautiful snowball on Frog Isle.
Wi-Fi is playing like a boss. I mean, that's the only way to really explain this. He's absolutely hitting every hook on Makoa, and it's obvious.
Are properly following up on them.
Yeah.
They're getting the hook every time. They're putting Divine on a timer. They're saying, every 6 seconds, we're going to hook someone, and they're going to die. You have to beat us before that happens.
And Arai as well, coming in 80,000 healing for his team, 15,000 damage, you know, a little bit half of what the tanks and, you know, Mave are doing, a little bit under that, but only 1 death, so
Great
stayed alive very long. Good Dread
Serpent.
I mean, he definitely performed at a high level for his team.
Name of the game there for Eager. 11-minute win on Frog Isle. Head on over to the map screen to see where the next game of this series will be played. Divine now scrambling for an answer, scrambling for even a payload here against Eager, who are looking strong. Jaguar Falls will be the selection. Can Divine find a win?
So Eager, they went into this last fight, Divine, they went into this last round knowing the Torvald was important on Frog Isle, knowing how well the Torvald went for Eager in Game 1, and they weren't able to use it as well. That's the kind of trap that playing well with the champion does without a ban phase in this type of esport right now. You have to take it, and if you take it and you underperform, it loses synergy for your team. They didn't seem to handle it. I wouldn't expect Divine Esports to grab the Torvald here. In fact,
for the Fernando and the Drogos.
Yeah, I think it'll be on Eager.
Do Eager recognize that, though? Do they have the same process that you did, and can they realize that they can take the Torvald later in the game, maybe even going for the Mave? Mave not having a super high impact today, I think, overall. I mean, there has been the Torvald there. So, again, they go with the early Mave, and this puts, I mean, no matter what, you or I could step in and play Torvald and just bubble people, right?
We would be
and counter what Mave can do.
We'd be all right.
But
It's like if they're not good at it, sure they can pick it and do that, but like you mentioned, there's a lot more to Torvald that you need to be doing: draining shields, silencing people, all of that good stuff. And if you're not bringing that to the table, then it's just not worth picking up. And it looks like Divine Esports want to lean that way. They don't have a healer, they don't have another frontliner, so they're going all in on these damage picks, trying to get their guys where they're comfortable, I think, to just try and blast through Eager.
This could be Drogos, this could be Eevee Torvald. I think
maybe Androxus.
And Stolzy wants to get crazy, throws a Sky in there. Huh? How about
Maybe
that?
Androxus.
How about that? Catch me outside. How about that? All right,
They're going to catch him outside. They're going to catch the hands.
Androxus comes in. That's what they need. That's what they need.
Yeah.
Stolzy could be on that one as well. He'll have a very good time on that, one of his iconic champions. But there it is, the Torvald on Eager now. Divine Esports, that didn't work for them. It's a wash. Trying to get back to their roots. They got a strong squad on paper. Fernando, Drogos, Cassie, Shaolin, Ying. The problem is Torvald is going to eat that Fernando alive. But can Drogos and Shaolin really follow up and get those shields down?
With that much damage, a couple of things can go wrong for Divine here. Stolzy can go off for one, and his playstyle is aggro. You mentioned hold W. That's his motto. God help the team that has to go against Stolzy's Androxus with Torvald bubbles.
Oh, gosh.
You know, to supplement him with 40% move speed.
Right.
God help that person.
Now, is Bitey still running the Wind Dancer? It'd be interesting to take a look at that for Team Eager, seeing in his deck if he's still going with that movement speed priority. He is. And so he's going to give, obviously, shields to Stolzy or to Shady Shades on the Maeve. It's going to allow him to get shields back for himself, and he's going to really just reduce the cooldown and give them that huge movement speed bonus. And I really want to see how that impacts their play.
So the way Divine drafted, they said, forget the tanks, forget the healer. They picked Shaolin, Cassie, and Drogos as their priority picks. These are obviously their comfort picks.
Wow.
They have to find something with them. This is the only way. That's the only reason you draft like that, is because those are comfort picks for you.
Stolzy hitting 6 shots in a row, hits 2 on a Ying clone. I guess that counts, hits another one, and that's a headshot as well. Goes in for the dash, hits 2 more, gets 3 kills in this fight. And dear God, didn't even see a bubble. He doesn't need one. But imagine if he got
it
one.
just for the movement speed.
I mean, that's just nuts right there, especially on the chase potential. You talk about Wind Dancer. I mean, this is a card I've always liked in the Torvald lineup. It's a cool one, right? I mean, I love the way that we've seen Hearth Warder and Time Shaper come up. But now Wind Dancer, I think, being played at a high level is cool to see. But the applications are different. Not only offensive to chase, but defensive. When Makoa hooks you, if you throw that bubble, they can really create some distance.
Absolutely. To keep your teammates alive, that has to be something that you recognize. Shady Shades looks like he's going to be lone wolfing it there. Stolzy has been the recipient of most of the bubbles thus far, but Maeve has more sustain built into her kit than Androxus does, so she's a little bit more content to do that. I think Wi-Fi's in a rough spot.
Nice.
If he gets out here, okay, he does not get out there. They needed to find that kill there. Stolzy landing every single shot. Almost has a cursed arm on the board. He is beating Torvald in the ult department by 30%.
Oh man, Bubbly Bubbles come through to finish off Stolzy and give him a little bit of break to, you know, say, hey buddy, you've been doing a lot of work out on the battlefield. I understand that you are kind of wrecking my team. And so I'm going to make sure that you just get a little bit of a rest. Go on vacation for a while. Let us try to defend. Unfortunately, Wi-Fi is giving them no rest here. Hook after hook after hook comes through. Arai going to use Slither to get close. And what an instinctive mid experience as well. This Arai is just really keeping this team alive here. And this Torvald's feeling boosted.
Maldamba has the Dread Serpent ready to go. Just trying to, you're not going to win that. Torvald's either going to protect, you're either going to be on Torvald, who's getting healed by Maldamba, or you could be on Maldamba in that situation, who's going to get bubbled every 3 seconds by Torvald. You're absolutely not going to win that. Chalk's 30, punished for that one. Hyper Beam is ready to go here, but Torvald is extremely low. A Cursed Arm was used as well. Double kill. Eager just running through Divine Sports right now.
That was embarrassing, man. I think Stolzy missed a shot there.
Yeah.
That's got to hurt, man, on TV. Oh, wow.
They're so far ahead in credits, in ult charge, I think in morale at this point. Divine, it's a long road to come back against a very good team that's firing on all cylinders. They're working well together. Is a big thing as well. Chronos 2.
Round 2.
I mean, that's a lot. That's 1,200 credits that Bitey already has to spend. Arai's actually beating him in credits because he's got more in hand, having spent the same amount. So the supports can oftentimes do that if they're getting a lot of healing, if they're sitting on the point the entire time. And Maldamba is especially good at that, given the range at which he can heal. But just
there's no answer right now from Divine Esports.
Team Eager looking to finish this one off and get themselves in the finals as quickly as possible. This is what happened last round. Stolzy just took this flank and just absolutely dominated. Took the position to poke, but now he gets poked out. Bubbly Bubbles takes down Stolzy for the second time in this match, and still Shady Shades is on the Maeve in the backside, looking to send them into darkness with her ultimate Midnight. Now just looks to collect herself, reposition, and help on the duel in the mid lane. There's the ultimate. There's Frog Isle. But no, not quite. This is Jaguar Falls, buddy. You're going to have to be careful. It doesn't send people off the map quite yet at that angle. And so he does not get any kills, but he forces him in a bad spot, and Stolzy is back in the meanwhile.
I mean, that fight was going well for Divine Esports. They got the pick on a Stolzy. They didn't give up any picks while they stayed together. The second Cassie stepped out of position, stepped alone, Maeve picked her off. The second Fernando stepped on the point, he takes 80% of his health. They need to just stay together or Eager is going to pick them apart. They have two flankers, Torvald and Makoa. They have all the tools they need. You know,
my gosh.
Oh, wow. He wasn't even going for that hook. But out of position or not, Makoa can just make you out of position. And then on top of that, having double flank, the second any one of your squishier targets steps out of position, they're dead. So they need to fight together. They need to stay behind this Fernando shield and try and play around that.
Stolzy getting boosted with Wind Dancer. Great synergy from Bitey and Stolzy in real life and in this game as well. Stolzy's going to need this shield in just a moment. Reversal comes through. He's going to reset the dashes. So he's going to stay in the air. Bitey actually cannot finish off the bubble. Didn't even look up at that direction. Maybe just was a little focused on finishing his target. Stolzy will go back to base yet again, but the push continues, and that is the most important thing right now for Team Eager. They're 2-0 up. They can finish off the set and this game with a push here. The Cassie ultimate will come out to scout, see where Team Eager is coming from, but here's the Dread Serpent.
Planted, impaled, forces the Ancient Rage a little bit early in that fight. Immortal comes out to keep everyone from Divine alive for now, but as soon as it falls, two members from Divine fall as well. Able to answer back onto one is Bubbles, but they're poked out so low. This is fresh meat for Maeve. Eager punch it through, and you know, basically the other end of the spectrum. The other semifinal took an hour and a half. That one felt like it took about 25 minutes. What time is it?
I don't know, man. I mean, time for a break soon.
Time flies.
I mean, unbelievable. It took less than a half hour.
I mean,
wow.
I knew they were gonna need a Divine blessing, and Divine unable to get it done there. 8 minutes and 40. That is one of the fastest games I've ever seen. Stolzy there, 35,000 damage on Androxus, setting a blazing pace there. Bitey keeping him alive for the most part with those bubbles.
Yep.
And just dominant snowball play from Eager.
So
not much to break down there.
Let's look at the bracket for today. It all has ended with Eager and AGG in the finals. Coming up next on your screens, we are going to, as always, go to a short break. But that was very fast. If it's anything like this last set, we'll be right back in like
our break's going to take about as long as that game did.
And of course, guys, remember, stay tuned here. We'll be back in just a second for the finals. Eager and AGG. Los Spoilers, Fernando's.
Go win yourself some PvE while we're on break. You can get a couple of those wins there. Need to find 5 this week. You get a 50 crystal bump. Giving you a little love there. Thank you guys so much for being here with us on this beautiful Sunday, and we'll see you in a minute.
All right.
Don't you know I worry about you all the time? Anytime you wanna leave tonight, go morning comes and goes, but I'll always be a show like a leader. What a way to go. This incarnation is really wild. The air is getting warm. I know you're the worrying kind. And is there any way? Or do you like not being found? Entangled with fate. Don't you know I worry about you all the time, all the time, all the time, all the time. Don't you know I worry about you?
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I was just here, and you know, sometimes it's hard to say things, so I just wanted to write them down because it's easier sometimes to pass notes for.
So
Nick,
something you want to ask me?
So
or?
Nick, this is actually for you. Hold on, I want this to be a nice clean rip here. This is really embarrassing for me. I usually don't do things like this.
Will you cast with me? Of course I will, Evan.
Thanks, Nick. I feel so good.
I would love to.
And if you want to feel that good in game, you got somebody you got your eye on, you want to play a couple games with them, go ahead and buy yourself a couple of Valentine's Day chests, ladies and gentlemen. Come on. Get
Buy
the
them a
Grover
chest.
Rose pedals. Get yourself an Androxus, Love Revolver, look like Stolzy, play like Stolzy, and play Sky as well. Grok's in there. He got some love finally. Pip, I mean,
The love beam.
It's contagious. I have some, if you can't tell already. My name is Rainey. This is High Res Pretty Hair. We're going to be heading into the finals here. AGG versus Team Eager. It's exciting to see both of these teams. I mean, AGG had to battle the battle of time. I felt like we were watching, you know, they're on Mount Mordor, just like finishing off this epic tale, and now they have to face off another one again against a very, very good team. Team Eager.
Neither of these teams were in the finals last week, so turmoil in North America. Nothing is assured at this point. These first place, second place finishes are so big. They're worth so many points. And these two teams will start their battle for those points on Jaguar Falls. We'll head on into the champion draft here. Can AGG, they didn't utilize Torvald against Astro Authority. Can they do so here? Because Team Eager, we've seen if Team AGG aren't going to bring it out, this gives Eager so much more room in their draft to be able to get an impact pick last. We've seen what that can do. I mean, Evuli did it with Bomb King a while back, and now Eager are starting to look that way with Torvald.
And they will select Drogos again. So Drogos Maldamba, the top tier 2 response to a Makoa, which is really interesting. I wonder if that's more in response to Makoa or maybe more in response to what teams usually like to pick up in response to a Makoa. So
I think it's because it leaves Fernando on the table, sure, but Drogos is so good against both of those characters.
So maybe they feel like this maybe baits them out away from the Fernando. But, you know, the way Eager plays with Torvald, I feel like Fernando kind of falls into their game plan.
Sure, that's why Eager aren't picking it up right away. Anyway, they could come through with the Fernando Torvald last. They already have their healer. They just need to go for their impact damage picks. Maeve's on the table. Eevee, Cassie. Still on the table. Torvald will be one of the 2 selections here. And Droxus, Shaolin, both good things to take away from Stolzy for sure.
And AGG will be forced now to grab Fernando as a secondary tank, or they will have to leave that on the table. Maybe pick up a Ruckus, go for some more DPS, still have some defensive capabilities. And, of course, there's still Barrack, Nick. I mean, they could pick
Definitely.
Barrack.
Absolutely. Without a doubt.
I mean, that
My
seems
friend.
it's pretty top tier right now. I miss the guy, man. We used to
I
see
don't.
Barrack so much,
I
and
don't.
I know how much you love Barrack.
He can stay dead forever.
I
in
know
my
how much
eyes.
you're really into him. So, you know, you can hopefully see him in these games coming up. But Rovanik is going to select Bomb King, Ying to follow, or vice versa, rather.
Yeah.
And then Team Eager, now with the final pick, it's Cassie. Not surprising here. This is looking
Stolzy
like the...
needs something to play.
I like the Bomb King, though. I like the Bomb King coming out from Rovanik again. If it ain't broke, don't
That's
fix
his
it.
comfort pick. It's so good against Torvald as well with those Ruckers. And Grumpy Bomb's not something he can get away from, rather, and then hook into the Grumpy Bomb. I expect to see that here and there. Prince Danny will be on the Androxus, Bubble Boy on Ying, Grapple on Shaolin, Rovanik on Bomb King, and El Zulu on Makoa.
Wi-Fi now no longer hitting those hot Makoa pulls. He'll be on Team Eager on Maldama. Stolzy will be on the Drogo.
Whoa.
Spidey will be on Torvald. Arai on Cassie, and Shady Shades on to Maeve. And so Bidey's got a lot of targets now that are going to be looking for duels. Stolzy's going to be very important to keep the Dragon alive. We saw how impactful he was against AGG when he could stay alive, but El Zulu, he has been known to hit those hooks onto the Dragon. Let's see if it takes place here, Nick. Cards coming out, though, for both these teams.
Morale Boost is the selection for both Maeve and for Stolzy, so looking to have a big impact with Midnight as well as Dragon Punch. Master Riding coming online for El Zulu to try and get in there first, try and get that hook. He will be the first one to reach the point. There's the Grumpy Bomb, and it just forces Torvald off. Grumpy Bomb is going to be a very impact skill
Oh
against
no,
Torvald.
Prince Danny TV already gets the first kill, continues the winning ways that he has shown on his damage dealers, and now Rovnik is just going to go and eliminate Bitey. Was Torvald even picked? I'm not sure. That was absolute deletion from Rovnik, and he continues to onslaught the back line of Team Eager. That is a pick that is almost looking like a regretted pick right now if Rovnik continues to do what he just did to
It's
him.
going to be so impactful, this Bomb King against the Torvald. He's easy to hit. Wrecker as well. You can see how hard this Torvald does get hit every single time when he eats one of those bombs. 75% increased damage when it is blowing up that personal shield. Bitey takes Zulu down with him, but Eager, they definitely falling short here in this first round. The Makoa and the Torvald, I think, was what was making that Torvald appear to be so good. And Torvald on his own, I don't think we've seen that work yet.
And I think that's the case as well. Being the only frontliner, he's so exposed, he's so vulnerable to what the Wreckers can do to him. That increased damage to shields, so effective in the late game and especially the early game when you have those big blasters like Bomb King going full speed ahead with the damage. Prince Danny TV looking for one, sees that Maeve is buzzing around there, tries to spot her out, misses the first, misses the second. He's going to just reload the revolver and stay content here as he continues to zone.
And to your point of Torvald, it's only going to get worse as these Wreckers get to level 2. Even Wrecker 3, it's an expensive investment. I don't know that they'll go that far, but it's only going to get more and more difficult for Bitey in these situations here. Now trying to clean up Prince Danny, but doesn't get it done. Stolzy launches the Dragon Punch, but taken out mid-flight. Won't find the mark there as well. Bitey is healthy, getting into this fight on Makoa, but Makoa takes so long for Torvald to kill. So he's able to drain that shell shield, get himself out to about halfway, but these Wreckers are just having their way with Torvald right now, and AGG are rolling here. A minute left as they round the final corner, breaking the base of Eager.
2 shots in the air on a Stolzy, 4 for Rovnik. Not an easy task to deal with an airborne dragon and finish him off, but he is just looking to finish off anyone that steps in his path. This Torvald is no exception. He's got 1, he's got 2, make that 3 in the bank. 2-0 for Team AGG, 5 streak for Rovnik.
And this looks like, you know, Divine Esports trying to stand against Eager. Eager now getting run through on Jaguar Falls, the map that they just won on. The tables have been turned, the script has been flipped. Rovnik now with the Wrecker 2, it's going to be that much quicker. That Bitey falls. Stolzy missing the Dragon Punch there was not the glory either. Maldamba almost has Dread Serpent ready to go, but the snowball, it's just going to be so real. And it's not as if anything, I would say Eager's team falls off harder late game, especially when you look at Stolzy, who doesn't have a Wrecker or any of that. Only the cauterized ones online right now from Arai and Shady Shades. All they've got is Hyper Beam and Midnight as they try to find their way, find a win here in this team fight, try and get themselves a payload to be pushed.
King Bomb. It's available. Rovnik, we're following along with him. He's been doing the deed to the frontliners. Can someone take him out before he does too much damage? Maeve trying, but Shady Shades instantly deleted yet again. Prince Danny TV and Rovnik proving to be such an incredible combo, but it's not going to do anything against that. Rovnik still dead. Bitey, though, made that happen with the Hyper Beam. Torvald showing some value, falling though in the end, but grabbing a couple of kills nonetheless. So finally, Torvald at least showing some umph in a fight.
Midnight has the pop here, Dragon Punch as well, but they'll at least be able to see it coming. Stolzy runs into a Ying clone. Gets nothing for his Dragon Punch.
You're done, son. That's not going to work on me. Another pull from El Zulu is going to set up Bubble Boy to finish this off. Again, great job by Bubble Boy to finish it off with these kills, with these just the follow-up damage. And Prince Danny TV in the back line, that's not where you want to see him. Nice reversal, misses that, but ends up getting the reset anyways. No damage there, but he does have the nether step available. That's probably more like the case in scenario. Rovnik now moving forward, 99% captured, and that is going to mean 3-0 for AGGG. Now, I'm not sure we expected this much of a one-sided game.
And the draft here, this Bomb King, the draft is becoming a chess match as teams are starting to have more and more pocket picks that other teams just simply aren't going for. This Bomb King is slaughtering Torvald right now because so many of the other tanks, Makoa, Fernando, Ruckus not so much, but he's even more mobile than Torvald. But Fernando and Makoa can just pull up their shield to eat the Grumpy Bomb. They don't have to get all the way off the point. The personal shields with Ruckus and Torvald, they have to leave. They have to exit stage left once the Grumpy Bomb comes out, or they're going to eat that stun.
Prince Danny TV also just feels confident on this Androxus, and Stolzy on Drogos. This is a bit of an odd thing to say. I don't know if I've ever said this out of my mouth, and that is important to note because Stolzy, he's known for his aim, and Drogos, yeah, you can have great aim with him, but Prince Danny TV shows you what good aim will do when you got a revolver like that, and the Dragon Punch, despite how valuable it is for team compositions, is never going to be able to outmatch some of that damage from far away, and AGG just cleaned that one up. I mean, that is a full sweep if I've ever seen one.
They got destroyed.
They got bodied.
Stolzy 0 for 3 on his Dragon Punches. Misses, gets taken out of the air twice, and then hits a Ying clone on one of them. 35,000 damage to his name. Still almost top damage. Arai taking that from him, but you know, Drogos almost always has top damage. You know, Fire Spit, just all that poke damage. It's not necessarily resulting in kills. You can see 2 eliminations for most of the members of Eager. Shady Shades leading the team with 3 there. 22-0 for Prince Danny TV of Team AGG.
We didn't see a lot of Stolzy's perspective in that game as well. You know, we kind of were left to just know that he died. He wasn't impacting the fight. It's interesting because Bubble Boy didn't die at all. And I wonder, were they going for him and not getting those kills? Was he just using Dimensional Link to buy time? Was that what made these snowball fights? Because then they just picked off 2, and it was just GG from that point. Interesting to see. We'll see if the draft continues to be so strong for AGG and where they'll be playing next. More importantly, it'll be Fish Market. Second game. That's an interesting pick.
So the Torvald that early, I think hurt Eager a little bit.
Yeah.
I think it was so much more potent when paired with the Makoa because of the follow-up there. So Eager hopefully getting first pick in this game. They'll definitely take the Makoa because that's just consistent throughout. Getting into the champion draft here. Team Eager will have the first pick. So in this situation, I think they can go Torvald. Torvald by himself, and especially against the Bomb King. But the Bomb King isn't something, I guess you could see it coming, playing against Rovnik, but it isn't something that they had to deal with. It's not something that's like and fresh in their minds coming off of that last set. Yeah,
and you know, they're not necessarily spectating these games like we are, right? They're in the middle playing their matches, getting ready for the next set. They're not watching it like we are and seeing, oh man, Rovnik's been unstoppable on Bomb King. You know, they know Rovnik plays a good Bomb King, but a lot of the teams in NA have a good Bomb King, despite not knowing how on fire he's been. So, Nick, to say they weren't prepared, I mean, you look at Tooney on Xenasi. I mean, they had to play against Tooney earlier on. They should know what good Bomb Kings can do. That was a big no-no, drafting Torvald, the only tank against that. But again, they drafted it early, and that was the big reason. They got counterpicked with the Bomb King. Can they pick it up late if it's on the table?
You know, with more champions rather coming into the draft, there's less of that mind game that can be played. When there was, you know, back in the day when there was 10 viable champions, you could do that sort of thing where it's like, oh, we have the Torvald, what are you going to do now? You're going to pick that for, oh, no, you just picked a Bomb King and blew me up.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, never mind. Moving on.
Moving on.
Androxus Maldamba for Team Eager after the Makoa and Fernando Cassie. So Torvald, I like Torvald in this situation, you know. Right now, AGG have the Fernando, which it's great against.
They still last picking the Bomb King potential, but they've got the Makoa too. That's huge. I mean, being able not only to have the Makoa to support the Torvald, but having Wi-Fi back on that champion who he was phenomenal on Makoa and on Stone Keep especially. Now on Fish Market, he can really show his stuff, and they will pick the Torvald now. This is a good pick, I think.
This is dominant. Torvald synergizes well with flankers that are squishy just to make them inherently tankier with the protection. Also, we saw a lot of Bitey just bubbling Wi-Fi because Makoa is very dangerous when he's up in your face, when he's getting that 2,000 HP shield, you know, every so often. But the Bomb King here, it's got to be big. It's got to be big here to shut down what Torvald is looking to do. Torvald's got a lot of good synergies with a lot of these champions on Eager this time around. I think he does a lot better as a supplementary frontliner, not so great in the solo frontliner role.
Absolutely.
But we'll see what Bitey's able to get done with him here. Shady Shades on Eevee, Wi-Fi, and Makoa. Arai on Maldamba, and Stolzy on his signature Androxus.
Bitey starting off with Rejuvenate and Resilience, a very interesting pick. Now, both of those being 200 credits. You have the option to start out that way. Interesting stuff. Team AGG on that side, it's going to be Bubble Boy on Ying, Grapple on Shaolin, Prince Danny TV on Cassie, Rovnik on Bomb King, El Zulu on the Fernando.
And they're going with a couple of cauterizes here, too, for both squads here. Bubble Boy's got one. Danny's got the other. Hopefully we see El Zulu get into that. Healing was just not a big part of Eager last time. That Malzamba, I think he only had around 16,000 healing.
Yeah, that's true.
In that game, but that's, you know, that'll happen when you're getting stomped. Though.
Here's Stolzy, though. He's on the Androxus. He should be feeling much more comfortable here. One dash. He's going to go on to Prince Danny TV. Doesn't miss. Hits 4 in a row. Stolzy looking to come back strong. Hits 4 more. Double kill for the big man with the plan. That's 3. Arai picks up the final shot. But Stolzy with that reversal made it happen. This is what we like to see here. Back on his main, able to press W. The withdraw is going to buy Grapple a little bit of time, and Prince Danny TV may get some revenge here. In fact, he will, but Wi-Fi, great pull. It's not going to mean anything for him. He's going to have to fall back. There's going to be some Cassie dodge rolling and some pressure by the Fernando. But are they a little too far, Nick? Could El Zulu be in trouble here?
There's not a lot of members here from Team Eager to try and punish this, and what happened to the other member? I felt like Stolzy killed everyone and had a lot of attention drawn to him as well. There's 2 more coming back into that. Stolzy just carrying Eager right now.
He can get rid of Rovnik. That's going to be huge, but he just stays there. There's nowhere to go. Rovnik finally goes down, though, and this is something that was unusual to what we were seeing last game, Nick. There was almost no moment that Rovnik was down and out and not a part of these team fights, making a huge impact. The more times he's back to base, the more of a better chance that Team Eager have to win this one. 60% on the objective. He spots Rovnik poppy bombing up into the air. Cursed Arm is here. He wants to take out the Bomb King. Almost gets a double. He's not going to be able to do a great instinctive reversal. Hits it. Pinpoint accuracy. And another steps to safety for a moment. Wow. Nice headshot to finish off the kill.
Big burst damage coming through on the backside from that Eevee. Unable to get the kill just yet here, but Hyper Beam knocking Fernando far off that point. It's going to put AGG in an awkward spot. They have to throw their Shaolin onto the point just to keep things going, and he's going to be taken down. Fernando comes back in, low HP, sitting in an Ice Storm. He's going to go down just to the persistent damage from the Ice Storm. No follow-up needed. Shady Shades with the no-look.
I love that play by Bitey. You know, you don't think Fernando getting off the point is that impressive because you don't kill him. He's not there. He goes off the point. That forces, you said, Shaolin. It forces Bomb King. It forces a lot of different players to jump on the point when they wouldn't want to. So when Fernando gets back, he's got basically no support. I love that decision there by Bitey.
That's the type of decision making that I think Bitey is known for. He's not afraid to bring these new characters, and he's not afraid to bring new ideas to the table. An old way to win a team fight there off the back, but beautiful Dread Serpent from Arai. 3 kills for nothing. Stolzy finally taken down. Fernando is going to be soon to follow here. Shady Shades getting into the backline. Beautiful hook there. Doesn't even use it on the Fernando, but Prince Danny bringing a couple down with him.
Wow, good stuff by Prince Danny to stay alive on this Cassie. He's really making Shady Shades work for this kill. He may not even get killed here, and now Shady Shades is in trouble. They may pick him up. Stolzy comes over to save the day, kills Prince Danny TV, and saves Shady's life. Bitey, though, is in trouble here, but Rovnik goes down yet again thanks to Stolzy. This is a totally different Eager. They are focusing down this Bomb King, and it is being much less impactful. You can expect a hook to come out from Wi-Fi, and it did. 1,000 damage onto the Bomb King, and a stun to follow will make sure that the Fernando goes down on the side of El Zulu.
The dot damage did pick up Arai, and Grapple found Stolzy on the front side of this Wi-Fi. Just trying to get out of combat here and heal back up. Ultimate's coming online. Hyper Beam is going to be effective down the stretch here on Serpent Beach. A lot of hazard zone off of, and not a lot of good ways to counter it. Shaolin, he's done for. It's very difficult to actually poppy bomb yourself out of a Hyper Beam and get back on the map. Fernando is probably the best at it. Ying has to have a clone to link back onto the map too, but big 1v1 in the backline there. Prince Danny coming out on top now. Chance to roll back in. This hook could send him back to a grave, but
Danny
miss.
Danny's absolutely just being the savior that AGG need right now. I mean, he's won that fight against Shady Shades twice now. Forced Stolzy to come over to win it that first time, and now just clearly wins it, puts Shady Shades out of his misery and back to base. And he has been kind of the guy that stepped up in place of Rovnik here, not having the best of games as we've seen before. Up in the rafters, though, it seems to be a focus onto him. Prince Danny TV goes down thanks to Wi-Fi. Following up on the Dread Serpent, Hyper Beam from Bitey will make sure that Grapple goes down. Stolzy picks up 2 in the process, and it is all Eager. AGG have been wiped clean. 5 men down thanks to the ultimate combinations and the aim from these champions, and that's a successful push by Eager. Just masterclass stuff.
What a team fight there. Only 2 ultimates to do it as well. Dread Serpent, Hyper Beam. They're going to be up pretty soon here, and already with the Resilience 3, so basically what that's telling me is Bitey is maybe looking to eat some of these Grumpy Bombs and just not really care. He doesn't. That's what was screwing him last game, is he had to get all the way off the point, out of line of sight of that Grumpy Bomb. This time around, he can eat it, and he's only going to be stunned for, you know, 0.3 seconds.
0.3 seconds. With
that 90% CC reduction, same thing with the Shaolin Impale. Grapple basically 100-0'd him in the previous round with that combination. That's just not going to be the case anymore.
I love this. I mean, I've been a big proponent of resilience. We talked about this quite a long time. If you're dying because of a Bomb King, if you're dying because of a Pip, it becomes so much more of an effective pick. And definitely, you could say that the reason they have been having their woes, especially some of the characters like Bitey, Torvald, has been because
Torvald's HP is shield. It doesn't get Haven and Blast Shields don't mitigate it. He's only got, you know, the 3,000 out of the shield HP, and now here comes Rovenick.
Oh my!
He's gonna miss, but Stolzy is not. A Cursed Arm is now ready to go. He's going to get himself up in the bird's nest here. Great vantage point for anyone looking to aggress onto the point. 48% and climbing already for Eager.
I mean, I'm really not trying to take 1v1s against Stolzy. Rovenick would have probably got that on many other people, but Stolzy just shows with Androxus in his hands that he is still one of the best. Bubble Boy, nice dimensional link's going to put him out of the fight for now. He's got no movement speed, but he's still staying around, and they're just not focusing him. Again, he's going to have probably a pretty good stat line in terms of his deaths, and he is still keeping that healing up, keeping AGG in this fight. 46% for them, but now back in control of Eager. 84% on the objective. Ultimates are about to start making an impact. King Bomb is available for AGG.
Shady Shades finds Prince Danny as well. He's been so critical to their team fights. Here comes the stun from the King Bomb, but Bitey's already out of it. That Resilience 3 coming into play in this team fight. Poppy Bomb,
Hyper Beam.
not gonna be able to knock him out as well. Hyper Beam keeping him juggled up in the air, and Bitey comes out on top of the back of that Resilience 3 play.
It just bought them time. Again, it just buys time. Rovenick doesn't even take damage from that, but he tries. It messes up the aim. Stolzy and Wi-Fi come in, and this is just the strength of that ultimate, the strength of resilience against a deadly Bomb King.
I mean, Hyper Beam does do damage. I got pinned in a corner and took 1,100 damage from a full duration Hyper Beam, so it's definitely nothing to scoff. Great Dread Serpent up onto the high ground. Precision detonation there, hitting the shots as well. Just doesn't get any kills, but those two were coming in to try and reinforce Zulu and Prince Danny, just separating the team fight with that Dread Serpent there. Arai making a great play. Bubble Boy puts Bubble Boy too low to rotate back into the team fight, or he's a guaranteed kill as well. So now with a chance to really get AGG staggered.
Stolzy's done a good job hunting down Bubble Boy, taking down the healing, and putting it on a 5-second respawn timer now from the rest of his team. El Zulu's up in the front, but will he be in trouble here? Runic Blast and protection available soon. He's going to use the protection on to Stolzy, who's going to continue his winning ways on grapple. And now El Zulu is definitely exposed here. Rovenick is down, so Bitey has a little bit less to worry about. Going to be able to protect his teammates and heal up with recharge in a minute, thanks to the Fernando shield as well.
And the hook in's gonna be good, and the Hyper Beam is charged, primed, ready to go. He's gonna go for it, pulls the Ying clone off of the map as well.
Wow.
So Bubble Boy has nowhere to dimensional link back onto the map.
But still alive is Bubble Boy. He's still alive in this fight, somehow made it out despite being super focused there by Bitey's ultimate Hyper Beam. So shout outs to him just being a hero and keeping his team's healing up. He has been hard to kill. That's been the theme of this game for them. And Stolzy yet to really focus down on him. He's been going on Prince Danny TV, who's commanded all the attention. Immortal comes out from Fernando. Wi-Fi pops into the Ancient Rage. Shell spin. Gonna try to swipe on Bubble Boy, but a dimensional link will put him away again. They cannot kill this healer on the side of AGG, and it is making all the difference in these fights.
Bubble Boy, the attention of so much focus, staying alive, and that's all you can really ask of your Ying player. That's all she needs to do, staying alive, avoiding all of the heat that AGG or that Eager are putting onto him, and AGG is there to clean up, to keep their man safe. Beautiful stuff there from Bubble Boy.
And, you know, when you use the dimensional link, it goes in the direction of either your last clone, if you're not facing a clone, or where your clones are. You have a lot of room you can cover, especially if you're able to deploy your clones at a farther range. One of the loadouts that a lot of Ying players run is just increasing that deploy range. Bubble Boy using that to the maximum advantage here and really forcing this overtime situation when Eager could have already won this. Now Rovanic's back in the fight. Bitey using the recharge off of the Fernando shield, and he's going to get a little bit of time saved, but he will not stay alive here. The defense will be successful thanks to the heroics of the Ying and especially the rally by AGG to make it a 3-1 and not a 4-0.
Not getting anything off of that Hyper Beam was definitely not something that Bitey wanted. And now Wi-Fi seeing the success that Bitey's having with this resilience, he's gone into it as well. Rejuvenates 3s coming through for him off the bat. Wrecker 2 it's going to be online. It's kind of a strange pickup for me though. Granted, I guess it's just there to cover Bitey in case Bitey doesn't have recharge available to him. But they have to have some sort of answer for the Fernando shield because they've got no other way through it, frankly. Eevee and Droxus just take too long. The shield will probably time out before those characters can actually DPS it down.
Life Rip 2 getting picked up on Rovanik. Interesting choice. He's getting about 990 per bomb as a result of that healing back. He is probably running the cards that I like to run on Bomb King that gives him 15 healing per sticky, so he might be getting more than 100 health back on every bomb. When you're in a fight, 200-300 health can make a big difference. Trying to destroy the shields, trying to destroy the turtle.
Resilience.
But he gets out of it with resilience, and he kills Rovanik instead. Awry, keeping his teammates alive with mending spirits and keeping everyone healthy. Bitey with Hyper Beam on the point, chilling. Those resilience 3s showing up.
Yeah, I don't really like the Life Rip on the Bomb King because anyone that's going to be shooting him has Cauterize. Shady Shades, Awry, and Stolzy all with that online. Big Dread Serpent as well to shut down Rovanik. Shady Shades finds Prince standing in the back line, shredding through this Fernando shield with the recharge, but taking a lot of damage in the process. He's actually being pushed right now. Bitey gonna go down to El Zulu.
Up in the air is Androxus trying to finish off Bubble Boy, wanting to see where he's going to Dimensional Link to. It comes with the stun prepared juicily by Maldamba Snakes, but it is not going to save anyone's life, especially with Shady Shades on the back side. One does go down, that's Wi-Fi, but other than that, Eager are looking healthy and in control. Not on the point yet. They want to get another kill, and that was what they needed. El Zulu now down, gives Bitey the ability to use the Hyper Beam. Again, zoning out. He might even take this Grumpy Bomb. He just sits in it. 0.3 seconds later, he's out, and that's a victory for Team Eager, sponsored by Resilience.
Definitely there. That and G Fuel. Able to just get you hyped up, get you out of that Grumpy Bomb.
Our fuel did.
A little bit quicker there. El Zulu going down there at the end, getting kind of... He pushed Bitey, he found the kill, but then he didn't have the healer, so it would have been wiser to just get out of combat and heal up. He stayed at low HP for so long there, and that's a big key member to pick off there, especially when it's coming down to overtime, when it comes down to the wire. Stolzy still king of the damage charts here on this Androxus, 72,000.
Yeah, and you know, sometimes we're saying Stolzy's name a lot, and it's for good. It's important. It's important because he's making these plays that a lot of other players in that damage role don't necessarily make. It makes a difference. You know, if Dosips plays at the level that Stolzy played here on that carry, like as Maeve, if he does a complimentary performance like this, blows the damage out of the water for both teams, they might win that game. It might not be AGG here, but Stolzy playing to his name. He's got a lot of people who know he's one of the better ones, but he's still showing up every single time.
I just feel that Eager are playing better as a team than Astral Authority did in that there would have been more bubbles onto Maeve in the backline. There would have been more hook combat. We just weren't seeing that. Bitey and Wardoom are very different frontline players in terms of Wardoom is hyper aggressive, likes to do it all himself. Bitey is very team centric in the way that he plays. He wants to rely on all of his guys. Wardoom's a guy, I didn't even hear him speak a word. I don't even know what he sounds like. He's just not a big communicator. Yeah, especially, you know, outside of the game as well. And you know, in comms things can change, but you could already tell a lot about personalities.
Bitey's
Bitey, yeah,
boisterous.
contrary. I didn't hear him shut up. If you watch any of the VODs from HRX, that loud-ass voice in the crowd is Bitey. Every time, no matter, you know, high pitch, low pitch, thunder sticks.
Bitey.
That's Bitey.
We
He's
love
always
him.
him.
And you know what? He's a lovable guy because he does speak his mind, and it allows for when you have
Teams
people
need
who
that.
are open for that. You gotta have that guy who's talking. How do you know what's up? You know, one of the biggest things when you get from the casual to the competitive scene is learning how to communicate. What do you need? When do you need it? What's available? A lot of these things people don't like. You're just randomly talking. I got shield in 3. I got shield in 2. Those are the types of things that help make a difference and change plays, allow Wi-Fi to go for a clearer hook knowing he's going to be safe or to back off, and that can result in the win or a loss. Right here, the draft is already underway. Shaolin, Cassie, and Makoa selected for AGG, so Wi-Fi will be off of that. They didn't have success that last game that he wasn't, and Maldamba Fernando selected for Eager.
But they have Fernando this time, and if Torvald is something that they want to lean on, I like this adjustment in the draft from Eager. Fernando definitely can solo tank, and that's not really the question here. Now with the opportunity to last pick the Torvald, AGG have to kind of keep that in their mind going forward. They don't have a healer. They don't have a second frontliner. They're kind of like in a corner in terms of they picked Shaolin and Cassie for their damage. They still need either another frontliner or a healer.
And there's not an inherently, like, I wouldn't say there's an inherently amazing direct counter to Bomb King. But Bomb King is more of an inherently direct counter to certain champions. So it's kind of safe for AGG to take it to maybe ward off another Torvald, or at least attempt to.
The counter to Bomb King is ping.
Exactly. And skill, right? And high skill. But the Grover and Bomb King selected, I think Torvald could still come out here. It is. And I think that was smart by AGG. You know, if you look at it like Kinessa, maybe you're scared because they might be able to pick, you know, someone else to counter that. Bomb King, that's a safe grab, especially the way Rovinik's been playing.
Maybe Maeve could be a decent.
That's what I was thinking, but I don't know yet.
You know,
too early to tell.
Bomb King is, it is early to tell. We haven't seen enough of that 1v1 matchup, and just how much health Bomb King has makes him difficult for Maeve to burst down, and likewise, he does so much damage. He's only got to hit 2, maybe 3 shots to take the Maeve down. So Bitey, though, going to be back on Torvald this time around with Resilience and Rejuvenate as his first 2 items picked up.
I don't mind.
What a beautiful start.
I don't mind the start at all.
That's
I really
high
like
value.
it. Yeah,
It's 2 items.
Shady Shade starting with the Cauterize on Eevee, Wi-Fi on the Fernando, Stolzy on Androxus, Arai on Maldamba for Team Eager.
Bubble Boy will be on Grover this time around. Danny on Cassie, Rovinik on Bomb King, Grapple with the Wrecker on Shaolin. El Zulu out of the gate, going to be the first one to the point here with his Master Riding.
And that Master Riding is going to be so crucial at times to just get back to these point fights if things don't go well, but also to be able to affect these fights and just getting around to the right position when you want to start things out. Prince Danny TV going after Stolzy. Stolzy going to catch some with the reversal, and the first blood will be Stolzy with that reversal damage on to Rovinik. So that one was sponsored actually by Prince Danny TV. Unfortunately, doesn't go his way.
Prince Danny killed Rovinik.
Team Eager, basically.
Friendly fire kick him. Boot this man, ban him.
Team Eager here with 54% on the objective so far. Looking pretty good with the zone. Rovinik still not able to find much, Nick.
And win or lose this fight, 54% on the point already for Team Eager, and they're winning the fight. This is when this is when it comes in where this is that situation where you put it all on the line, where you're fighting from the point and you win that fight, and then that's the only fight that you need to win. 81%. No one from AGG is going to be able to get back to this point in time to even contest this. Free first payload going to Eager.
Eager just finding the rhythm now, finding the vibe. They are ready to go into this one. It is bobsled time. We're going to push this payload time, I think is more appropriate here. Eager with 2 minutes and 15 seconds, doing their best to kind of stave off Rovinik, again, getting any rhythm, but he picks up Wi-Fi, and that could be the start they don't want to give this deadly Bomb King.
Blinking in, blinking out. Shady Shade's trying to find some pick right now. Some poke damage. Prince Danny finds a Rai, almost gets the hook off the map. Stolzy, though, gonna punt it. Maybe that's a pretty decent counter, I think, to Rovinik, because so much of that burst damage, if it's absorbed by reversal, is gonna make it, you know, all things told, probably equal in the health department, because Androx is sitting at just 500 under that Bomb King, absorbs 1 shot,
from Rovenick is going to equal things out in the health department.
Absolutely. Grapple picks up a kill on the Shady Shade. The other dynamic.
He's kind of fat, too. He's kind of easy to hit.
He's a bigger body, especially if you're Androxus and you're flanking from the backside. I think it really depends on who sees who first. Stolzy with his reactions has been very good, but so is Rovenick. I mean, he's one of the better aimers, especially having the ability to play Bomb King. It just showcases your ability to aim and to be accurate in this game. The Dread Serpent, 2 ultimates come out.
Oh,
that's the
Bubble
Eevee
Boy.
Ice Storm. Bubble Boy actually trying.
He walks into the Dread Serpent during Whirlwind there.
But walks in.
And just got feared away.
Unfortunate by him. And now Grapple still free firing in the back line. Trying to find a Rye. Can't do it. Gets silenced out and dies. Oh my God. Torvald coming in big for Team Eager. Keeps the healer alive with a protection to boot.
And Stolzy just continuing to slaughter everyone in the back line here. 3v1 for Rovenick. His days are numbered. Here's the Hyper Beam just to give them space. Makoa's gone. So is Grover here. Doesn't have the Vine to get back in. Just going to have to dive onto this one just to stall long enough. Hoping, praying. He's got the Rosebuds from the Valentine's Day chest here, but he finds no love from Eager.
You know, there's 2 things about that were so impressive, Nick. That was sponsored by Bitey and Torvald specifically. That silence out of planted, that was so strong. And also, Bubble Boy. He's on a character that's a lot easier to kill. Talk about big hitboxes. Grover, a lot different than playing a Ying.
He's a fatty, and it's not like... Oh, at HRX anyway, we would see this Grover come out on maps like Frozen Guard where there's a lot of long area denial. And Fishing Village, it is one of those types of maps where, but you have to be in a position to where you are zoning right now, and it's almost like the win more condition, right? Grover's, he's fine, and that's just a little sprinkle on top if you're already winning the point fight. But AGG haven't been in that situation, and Grover doesn't really excel in terms of bullying his way back onto a point. He's so heavily countered by Cauterize that's already Cauterized 2 online for Stolzy.
And he's got that Vine. If he can get to safety, great. But if he can't get to safety, he's got that one move, and that's it. Ying can buy so much more time. And look at El Zulu just losing that shield right away. First pick, Makoa is not looking so sexy in front of a Fernando that's bubbled with 2k HP by Torvald. And Torvald himself, the Runic Sage, being so impactful here. And Team AGG still fighting their way onto this point.
I mean, that's the counter that you talked about, right? The first time that Fernando gets hooked in, just silence the damage. The second time he gets hooked in, bubble the damage. And, you know, there's just answers every single time that hook comes off cooldown. There's a way for Torvald to counter that burst. He's so good at that, and 58% on the point for AGG, but they're not in control of the zone right now. Eager are quickly closing that gap.
And I really do like the way, you see as the King Bomb comes through, the bubbles have been applied to Wi-Fi in the front line, but there's the Planet. Him taking on 2 is not going to be to his advantage. That leaves Shaolin alive, but Stolzy's alive as well. What a Dread Serpent just to mix things up. He hits the reversal from that distance. Grapple's in the heat haze though, so Stolzy's going to take cover knowing that Grapple 2-shot him last time, but this is all Eager once more. 100% captured. 3-0 Eager on Fish Market.
Arise Dread Serpents have been beautiful.
They have.
Not like the I mean, they are kind of playmaking, but they kind of aren't. They're not the super flashy ones where everyone just gets wiped that gets hit by it, but it cuts off the reinforcements. It splits up the team fight. It just makes AGG, they can't go where they want to go. It's complete area denial. They've come through beautiful precision detonations on those as well. Great stuff from Arai.
I mean, it also just feels like he's setting it up. It's like he's throwing the alley-oops, he's throwing the assist there, and Torvald does get hooked off the map. Unfortunately, El Zulu falls as well as a result of that trade, so both teams lose a tank. But Eager, they've got one more than AGG, so this is not going to be the best position for them. Bubble Boy in trouble, and again, can't Dimensional Link anywhere, can't get the healing anywhere when that Blossom is cooled down. Those clones will not passively heal him, and so he goes down. A lot less of a lifespan we've seen from Bubble Boy in these last games.
We haven't been spectating Shady Shades a lot, but there are just random he just gets random kills that just pop up on the kill feed in situations that they're not really intense team fights or anything. Double kill for Stolzy here. Whirlwind from Bubble Boy. He's going to try and buy some time, but he's falling quickly. Triple kill. Here comes the Accursed Arm. Make it a quadra kill. Team Eager just... AGG saved by the bell. No pentakill for Stolzy there. They push it through, and they get the 4-0.
And they're just feeling themselves. I mean, and you're giving him Androxus again. Here's where it starts to get tricky because what can you do? I mean, there's only so many things you can. You're basically trying to make sure your front lines are okay, and there's been a lot of countering for front lines here. But now Stolzy playing so well on Androxus, it's almost like we got to try to take that away.
He's slaughtering everyone right now. 53,000 damage. Androxus is not a character that typically takes top damage, especially over people like Cassie or even Bomb King or even Shaolin, especially these guys that don't have that fall off. Stolzy is just in their face, and Torvald is the character that is allowing him to do so and get out safely.
Yeah, so much to credit to Wi-Fi and to Shady Shades as well, and to Arai. I mean, those 46,000 healing, very, very strong in comparison. Only 1 death as well. But, man, those Dread Serpents were really on point.
They're on point
He's
every time.
setting up all of these fights in this snowball going on for his team.
Absolutely. Cutting off reinforcements with the Dread Serpent. Shady Shades, you know, Stolzy's got the bubbles oftentimes to get him in and out, but Shady Shades is out there doing it by himself. And that's what I'm saying. Like, there's not even really team fights going on, and I would just see Shady Shades getting kills, just like random things popping up in the kill feed. And that's what keeps this snowball alive for Eager. You see these wins 4-1, 4-0. It was only on Jaguar fault. That was just not a good draft, I don't think, from AGG. Stolzy's Drogos was not really... It's not comparable to his Androxus.
I mean,
say that much.
Yeah, let's say that much for sure. And now we'll see. I'm sure Eager finds the rhythm, and can AGG answer back? Makoa will be taken yet again. It's going to leave Eager with the same opportunities to pick up Drogos, potentially, Maldamba, potentially, Fernando, potentially, things that they valued here. I would expect the Fernando
first.
Maldamba.
That's fine. That's fine.
And that's what they go for.
The Torvald coming in last. If AGG can't
They might take it, man.
pick it up, it's going to be rough for them, because Eager being able to draft an impact champion last teams win every time when they can do that.
Exactly. And AGG is kind of just falling into that pattern. They want to take the Cassie, they want to take the Shaolin, they like the damage champions for Prince Danny and for Grapple, especially if you're going to have Makoa there.
Maybe Androxus here even. You got to get Stolzy off of it. You got to put him somewhere where he's not comfortable.
That's very important, and that is what AGG decide to do. So they take the damage champions here, and it puts Eager in a good spot again, where they've got the frontline advantage if they want to take Torvald yet again in this round. And they can pick up a Cassie here, which is okay. I mean, Stolzy can play Cassie pretty well. They've got people who can play Cassie well. Maeve, though, could really come out here. We might be able to see maybe Shady Shades Maeve here on Stone Keep, especially.
Could be. Have the room to draft it as well. Will be the Eevee, though.
Okay.
I mean, frankly, his Eevee has been way better than his Maeve thus far. From what I've seen. In the Torvald coming in last, the Bomb King, Ying here, probably going to be the selection for AGG if they hold true to their strategy. No, they haven't gotten into the Ruckus very often. Double front liner, not something that they're leaning very heavily on.
Wow, that's an interesting call. Buck will be the decision from AGG. The flank pressure on Stone Keep. Buck can't make it to that third tier by himself, unlike Eevee, unlike Androxus, who could fly up there. So they've already got someone to handle that area, and Ruckus is picked up for Eager instead of Torvald on this map. They feel that they're going to have the advantage there with that DPS. And to be honest, I think because of the height advantages, the distance on Stone Keep on the point fight where Shaolin can stand, Ruckus is going to be able to impact that a little bit more here.
And maybe they feel, you know, the Torvald isn't something they need to draft into, because Stolzy on this Cassie is mobile enough, can defend herself from Buck. The stain coming out from her onslaught, from her lifer, if he picks it up, plus the disengage. Plus, you can just kite. Buck is so easy to kite. And just, I feel he's going to really struggle to lock anyone down. He's not going to be able to lock. God bless you. You're not going to get Shady Shades on this Eevee. Arai is going to be so heavily protected by Wi-Fi and Bitey. Stolzy's really his only option, and it's not a great look.
And on the side of these teams, the last game
He's going
potentially here.
Too, so
Stolzy going for yeah, exactly. Rovenick going Wrecker, trying to get these shields. Maybe going to help focus down Bitey on the point. Just give get Ruckus out of the fight and finish things off. And that's exactly what he tries to do here. And he does decent damage. We call him the shotgun sniper for a lot of reasons. One is that he does damage from distance, and that's a great game plan. All of a sudden, just get one. They get a 4v5. Unless Stolzy can really turn this around on Rovenick, it's going to be a very big advantage for Team AGG. Buck can't get quite up there, though. And so he is going to go down. So Stolze gets 2 in this process, Nick. And now Rovenick falls to Shady Shades. Like you said, popping up out of nowhere, getting the kill.
Gets punched in the face by Eevee out of nowhere. And Bitey really only went down there. He went down by himself, but he did capture, 30–40% on the point. So, not the worst thing to happen to Eager. And the hook clips on the curb there and does not pull him up. Now, in a bad spot is his Makoa. Elzulu takes a spell very early on in this team fight here. And not a good spot. Grapples all alone off to one side. AGG, once again, looking very splintered in their team fight.
Bitey is back with a vengeance, and Ager are back with a captured objective. 1-0 goes the score in the potential final game here for Eager. They can round things out, close out the set and the day if they get a win, but they are 3 points away from doing that. Damage over time should tick away on the Bubble Boy. He's back on the yin, feeling comfortable, and finally going down, as is Elzulu in the process. 2 minutes still for them to push.
And we talk about, how vocal Bitey is, how important that role is for him to, maybe it gets annoying, maybe you get, if you're not the type of person that can play with a guy like that, it's going to hurt your team synergy, but, they all seem like they're pretty level-headed guys, pretty content to just kind of take the orders, and they're all playing so well. Every single one of them is playing so well right now, and maybe that's off the back of Bitey's leadership.
And it could be just off the back of one of the things you said, synergy. I mean, you could all have a plan to just take out one guy. Maybe it's not the best guy, maybe it's not the biggest threat, but if you just take out one person, you already put yourself in an advantage. And maybe it's not the right call, but if you do the wrong call with 100% consistency and commitment, it can turn into the right call.
I believe so heavily in that. They have just as much HP as you do. Like, even if you're a pro player or not, even if you're just a casual player, that's the mentality you have to have if you ever queue into guys like this. Don't get scared. Just, you got to focus on playing your game, hitting your shots. They have just as much health as you do. You do just as much damage as they do. Just keep a level head, and you can come out on top. And Eager, playing as a unit, playing as just that Voltron right now, it feels all together, hitting the same mark at the same time.
Bitey picking up Rejuvenate 2 now. Really loving that item, and as a frontliner, I got to say, I'm definitely all in agreement with that. Going to give you 20% extra healing in the early game. It could be incredibly impactful against those cauterizes. The bubble comes out. Elzulu already in trouble. Picked up the Makoa as a first pick, but he's going to go down first in this fight against Eager. 30% on the objective. Stolze picked off by Rovenick, the shotgun sniper indeed. Wasn't even close to him as that happened, but Rovenick will be in the back line still following up kills that he has done earlier. Now, 56% on the objective, about to go in, but here comes the Buck Wild.
Yep, CC immunity there. Oh, steps into the Dread Serpent, gets taken down, but not before he takes Wi-Fi down with him. Here's the Ancient Rage on the point as well. Elzulu's looking to get some work done here. Just staying alive. Bubble Boy credited for the kill. On to Bitey with his last breath. Takes a ride down with him.
Bubble Boy still alive. That's been the theme when he's been able to play Ying. He's done incredibly well for AGG. First kind of spot we've seen him on the roster, but that Eevee's Ice Blast is going to do quite a lot of damage, especially if it hits you square in the head. Elzulu, without a hope, without a prayer, but with a definite attention coming from Eevee and a Ruckus, he's going to pull out, and he's going to make sure that his team can at least try to defend this here and not be so staggered.
Just disjointed right now, just trickling death after death after death. They're not waiting. They're not really fighting as a unit. They're not just lean on this Makoa. You have the burst damage here. I mean, hell, even the Ying contributing 700 damage off the back of the hook. All of that is good stuff. There's a hook on, but immediate peel from Wi-Fi there is going to get his Cassie out safe. Buck's trying to get in there in the back line, but already feeling the heat from the Flame Lance.
Wi-Fi coming in, trying to finish off Prince Danny TV. And it looks like Shady Shades will get that credit for that kill. Grapple in the back line. Wi-Fi not near the fight at all, so hard to kind of see what's going on up in front of him. But there is Grapple. He gets taken down as well. Bubble Boy in the back line, staying alive yet again. Throwing the Ying clones, trying to keep Elzulu in the fight as much as possible. Getting a little bit of focus, gonna pull back in. This is it for AGG. They've got to stop it all here. Hexafire's available though, and Ruckus has way too much health for me to really feel comfortable with this, but all of a sudden Grapple ends that one. But again, a Dread Serpent from Arai is on point.
Precision detonation there as well to land onto Stolze. Easy cleanup there for him. He's still alive. Wi-Fi is now here. Grapple's right in front of Arai, but he doesn't see him. He just bails out. El Zulu goes down. No one's here except Grapple. One more shot's going to do it. Here comes the trickle from AGG. Buck just leaps off the payload, and Eager win.
Well, it
Later,
was something Buck didn't maybe even want to deal with. He knew that they had...
Maybe he thought Bubble Boy stayed there. Bubble Boy linked back up onto the high ground there. And I mean, there's not
That's
much
true.
either of them
That's
could
true.
do. The
Yeah.
fight, like, you can get mad at your teammates. Why did you get on the payload? At that point, when they're trickling on, the game is over.
Yeah.
At that point.
It
There
is.
is such a small chance for them to actually come back against an Eager that's playing as tight as they are right now. The game's over at that point.
And that is actually not only the game, it's the set, it's the match, it's the finals. They are going to be your new winners of the open bracket qualifiers for this week. We'll take a look at the standings right now and see what that does to their play. So, after being rounded, basically knocked out in the round of 16, they are second place in the North America standings, only behind Xenasi, who was beaten earlier by Eager in, I believe, the round of 8.
Yep, so Xenasi 110. I mean, these are tied for third here. Astro Authority and AGG with 100. And the difference between first, second, and third is 5 points. So anything could happen. We still have 2 more weeks of open bracket play. Shout-outs to Wisefrag, the Goobers down there with 25 points. Stay triggered.
Stay triggered, man. And you know what? Make sure that you also stay in love. You know, Nick's kept this note the whole time. He hasn't given this away, guys. That's because it meant a lot to him. You want to mean a lot to the ones that you love. That means you get that Valentine's Day chest. And you can get all this cool stuff. New sprays, unicorn mount, new skins, new weapons. You got to be there. We'll see you all very soon. Next weekend, we're going to do the same exact thing here, 3 p.m. Eastern time on Saturday for EU and Sunday for North America. It's going to be a pleasure seeing where this scene goes, what kind of upsets and crazy stuff we'll see happen then. I don't know, but I'm really excited for it.
Stay tuned for the Realm recap featuring I Hold Shift and Xenasi's coach, Meta Pusher, coming up right after this on the Paladins Game channel.
My name's Rene. That's High Res Pretty Hair. As always, remember to never give up, never stop gaming, and we'll see you all in the realm.